Hello folks, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by TempRocket. TempRocket is a unique, powerful online solution for finding and booking temporary staff. Harnessing the power of online technology, the platform transforms temporary staff recruitment by bringing the three key players, hirers, agencies and contractors, together in one place to deliver a quicker, more efficient solution of all parties 24/7. TempRocket incorporates an innovative online bidding system through which hirers and agencies compare details and costs, then bid for a contractor with the option of making a counter bid, accepting or declining an offer until they find the ideal candidate, making life easier for contractors and freelancers, creating more business for agencies and simplifying the recruitment process for the hirer. TempRocket's a win-win-win. Please visit temprocket.com for more information. We are also sponsored by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure and easily accessible, the Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider from the commuter to the round-the-world adventure. I've done that. Why shell out on an expensive GPS system when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within reach to take photos of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-ons waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. And folks, if you use checkout code TeapotOne10, it's the number 10, TeapotOne with the number 10, at checkout you'll get 10% off. Head to ultimateaddons.com. Right folks, this episode, well, what can I say about this guest? Ben King. If you've never heard of him, get ready for a hell of a ride. If you know Ben King, you'll know what's coming. Folks, we did this chat over Zoom. The internet connection wasn't particularly great over at Ben's end, but he was filming it with a camera and audio. So we have both sides of the conversation in perfect quality. However, the connection when we were talking was in and out a lot of the time. So the conversation's a little bit stop-start in places. But as ever with Ben, it's entertaining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy it.
Here we go. Oh, that's right. Speaker, boom.
Right,
set
you
that.
got me now?
Yes, that was it. That was it. Hello, hello. Yes, that was it. It was a Zoom preference, not the Mac preference.
It's always one little button, isn't it?
That is just insane. Oh my gosh. Hello, how's it going?
Awesome, mate. It's really good to see you again. Really good. How are things?
Mate, so good. Oh my word, it's been it's been a bad year. But it's been good. Oh no, I just realised I forgot to put on my I was supposed to put on my biking leather jacket to start the video, just so people would think I was a really cool biker. Let me get it. Okay. I bought this new jacket when I got my new bike. I bought this jacket and it's so nice. I went to the pub every day now. Well, when we were allowed to go to the pubs.
Yeah, exactly.
So people think, oh wow, he's got a leather jacket, he must be a biker.
Never mind what you've actually accomplished, but yeah. What jacket is that, man? That's nice looking, that.
I got it from Urban Rider. It's the Merlin something. The Merlin I know, but hold on. I literally went into Urban Rider, I showed them a photo of my bike I was about to buy, the Bodybuilder 200 in black. And I said, this is what I'm buying. I want you to dress me so that I look really cool, like Steve McQueen. And they were like, okay, great. And literally they picked this, some boots, some black boots and some black jeans. And I bought it all in seconds. And they were like, this is the easiest sale ever. And I just bought it all and I was like, I look so cool. Because obviously all my gear obviously is out in Pakistan still.
God, yeah.
So I had to buy all new biking gear. And honestly, I love it. It's just, although now I'm hot, I'm going to take it off actually now I'm hot, but yeah, it's amazing. It's
but you've made the statement. You've made the impression. There we go. Folks, if you've not yet guessed, we've got Ben King as this week's guest. And how can I describe you, Ben? Ben was a 22-year-old lad who set off around the world 2 years ago, 2018, wasn't it?
It was 2017.
2017, 3 years ago, to ride around the world, and you were thinking, what, about a year and a half, wasn't it? Something like that you were thinking?
No. So initially, I said it would take about 5 to 6 years. But if I wanted to get this world record, I had 4 years to do that, which is plenty of time to go around the world. But then obviously that didn't happen.
Well, we'll get into that because there's loads of questions. I mean, there are loads of questions, mate. There's a lot. I've had a quick look. Normally I don't look through the questions just so we get a good sort of honest answer to them. But there's been a lot, and there's a lot of repeat questions. So generally what people are asking is, what's happened? Where have you been? What's going on? So how about I throw the floor open to you just as a, tell us your name, who you are, what's your name, where'd you come from, and what have you done? Brewdog, like it, brother.
Oh, mate, this is awesome. Basically, before we go, so it's been such a crazy, past 2 months, so...
Oh, you've gone.
You've frozen on me, Ben. But then I can't have anything more, because I have to have the alcohol-free one, because I'm on...
Mate, you've frozen.
Oh, no. Am I back?
Yeah, you've come back now. Right, you're back.
Oh, boom. Sweet. But so I was, this is the only one I can have of the alcohol version. Because I'm on antibiotics at the moment. Because I literally, it's been a crazy 2 months. So obviously, a month ago, me and my entire family will get the coronavirus, which is mad. And I lose my taste and smell for almost 6 weeks.
Wow.
And my taste came back a few days ago. My smell still hasn't returned, but my taste came back, which is great. I could finally taste again. And I was like, this is great. I was like, great, I want to have roast dinner with my favourite foods. And then a day later, I get an abscess in my gum. And I can't get an appointment for the dentist for 2 weeks or whatever. So they've just given me antibiotics for 2 weeks until I can get seen.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with this. So I can only have one alcohol one. And then I've got to have this I've got to have this one. This is this one here, the Punk AF alcohol-free one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
what's
oh my
that
gosh, it is disgusting. It's awful. It's so
good job
bad.
I'm not sponsored by Brewdog. Is it? Is it not good? Oh, that's a shame.
So bad. So I had that one and the Nanny State one, which is somewhere over there. It's just the worst. So I'm gonna save this one that I can have, and then I've got to be good after that. What was I saying? Was that a question? I don't know.
It was basically, I'll throw the floor open to you.
Yes.
Who you are, where'd you come from, what you do.
Sweet. Okay.
Just to introduce yourself to anybody who's never heard of you.
Okay. Hi. I'm Ben King. I am a supermarket delivery driver. How old am I? I'm 24. I'm from Hertfordshire, just north of London. I tell people I'm from London when I'm travelling, but really, I'm from Hertfordshire, which is not in London. Londoners get very offended by that. What else? What else is there?
This little trip that you've been on a motorcycle?
Yeah. So basically, long story short, when I was 17. I was in school. Everything was going well. I was in sixth form or college, maybe if there's any American viewers out there. Hi, what's up, guys? I just passed my driving test. Was an awful driver. 3 weeks after passing my test, I crashed my car really badly. And it could have been a lot worse. The police said, "You're also lucky to be alive." I felt so guilty, and I realised, as cliche as it sounds, I realised life is short. I've got to travel. So I dropped out of school. So I decided to not go to university, which is what I was going to do. I was going to have a normal life. I dropped out of school and then basically spent the next, 6 or 7 years riding bikes around the world. So when I first set off, when I was 17, I set off, I went to Asia first, spent a year or so touring around from Indonesia up to northern Vietnam. And then I lived in Vietnam for a bit. Then I did Central South America, so I did Nicaragua and got a bike, and then went from Colombia down to Brazil, and I was on local little bikes, 125s and stuff. Although I did have an F650 GS in for a few months in Colombia and Peru. That was cool, but I crashed that.
Gotcha.
And then, so I did all that stuff, and then came back to England. Someone showed me the long way around, and I was like, oh, that looks like a cool thing. And then decided I wanted to do a big trip, like on my own proper bike and whatever, and have all the panniers, like Touratech stuff, and be really cool. And did that, and then that was that. So that trip, I decided to document it on social media, because all my other trips I hadn't done anything online. I just done it myself. So this one I'll document it and post on stuff. And so yeah, I did London to the China border, Pakistan, and that was a journey that took almost 2 years, I think, in the end. Most people go around the world in like 8 months, maybe to a year. I don't know. It took me 2 years to get to China, and so yeah.
Yeah, but you enjoyed it though, man.
Oh my word, it was epic. Honestly, it was great. If I rushed it, I would have missed so much. I mean, was it 6 months? 6 months to get out of Europe, I think, in the end.
Wow.
And I thought I'd be in Australia in 6 months, and maybe it's just crazy. Oh man, unbelievable.
So the latest one then. This latest trip that you've been on, you sort of, even before the whole COVID thing happened, you sort of dropped off the radar for big swathes of time. What's been going on? What's been happening?
I got to Pakistan, and absolutely love Pakistan. Ended up spending over half a year, I think, maybe in Pakistan.
Wow.
It was just epic, and I just kept. So I got my, obviously the Pakistan visa. You have to get it in the country you're born in or your passport's from. So I basically on the trip, basically every visa I got ended up expiring, and I had to reapply for it or whatever. I had so much. Basically, what I've realised, right? I'm sure maybe you'll agree. I don't know. Traveling around the world is so easy. It's literally all you do is get on your bike and ride. But it's the visas. That's the only thing that causes problems. If it wasn't for visas, carnets, and all that, honestly, it's so easy.
Everyone would do it.
Always say, literally, yeah. And people always say, "Oh gosh, it's so incredible! You ride around the world." And I'm like, "No, listen, anyone can do it. It's all you do is get on your bike and ride. Like, it's just insane." But it's just the visas that cause the problem. So yeah, I had so much unluck with bad luck with visas and stuff. But yeah, spent 6 months in 6 months in Pakistan, and I kept extending my visa. It'd expire, I'd extend it. This went on for like 3-4 times. I think on the 4th time, I went to extend it again, and they said, "Listen, I'm really sorry, but you've maxed out this visa. You can't max out this visa anymore, extending it. You have to get a brand new visa." I said, "Great, just give me a new visa then, that'd be awesome." They're like, "No, you've got to apply for this one in your home country." I was like, "No."
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
And so I was looking around, trying to find ways around it. And I thought maybe if I could fly to like a neighbouring country and get it there or whatever, but no, they wouldn't sort me out. But although saying that, I mean, I got 6 months out of Pakistan, which is pretty amazing. And I'm pretty sure they didn't charge me for any of my extensions either.
Wow.
So I basically just stayed there for free because they were just so lovely. They were just great. It was awesome. So I was like, well, what are my options? My option is to either cross the border to India or leave the bike in Pakistan and fly home. So I went to cross the border. I got on my bike from Lahore, went to the Amritsar, the Wagah border, to cross into India. Got there, got into that like no man's land bit, and then I suddenly realised when I got to the next official, they said, "Oh, we can't let you into India because your visa for India's expired." And I was like, "You're kidding? No!" I'd literally got a whole year visa for India to be safe, and even that 1 year visa, I still managed to mess up.
It wasn't Ben King proof.
Literally, it expired as well. So I was like, "This is unbelievable." So I had to go back into Pakistan, back to Lahore, but now I'm really screwed. But luckily, the guy I was staying with, a Hadbai, who's him and his amazing family, he said, "Listen, we'll look after your bike for you. You can head back to England, get your visa, and fly back." I was like, "Great!" And it was literally, this all happened in the space of like literally 6 hours. Come back from the border. I was like, right, I've got to leave. My visa for Pakistan's about to expire. I've got to leave straight as soon as possible, really, before midnight. So quickly I was like, right. So I'm looking at flights back to England. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have like a little? I've always wanted to go to Dubai, and that was it. No, I got a message. I got a message from someone on Instagram from Dubai, being like, "Hey mate, would love to host you if you ever come to Dubai." And I was like, "I'm sorry, man, it's not on my route. I'm heading east to India." And then I literally sent the message and was like, "Hang on, Dubai? What if I just go and see him now?" So I quickly replied to him again and said, "Hey mate, I changed plans. Well, actually, what if I see you this evening? I'll see you tonight." And he's like, oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll pick you up from the airport. I was like, sweet. So
seriously,
I went on to I think it's Air Blue. I think it's the airline that goes via Pakistan and Dubai, and it's like a bunch, kind of like the Ryanair, I think, of the UK, or EasyJet, whatever. So I went to the Air Blue and found this dirt cheap flight leaving in a few hours to Dubai, and I was like, that's it. I'm getting on it. So literally, within like after being half a year or so in Pakistan, I had to suddenly pick up everything and leave. And so got this plane to Dubai. Everything's all still at this guy's house. I'm thinking I'm going to be back, in a few weeks' time, maybe. Had an amazing time in Dubai with these guys, a riding club over there. That was awesome. And then went to Moscow on my way back. And then eventually came back to England.
Got back to England via Moscow on the way back to the UK. Oh, you've gone again. Yeah, so you went via Moscow on the way back. As you do. Yeah,
basically, it worked out. It worked out really cheap. It was going to be like, I forget how much it would be to go from Pakistan to England. It would have been like 600 quid or something. But to fly from Pakistan to Dubai was like less than 100 quid, and then to go to Moscow was like also less than 100 quid. And then I'm pretty sure it was Moscow to London. The shortest journey was actually the most expensive part, which is slightly over 100 quid. So I ended up spending like pretty much nothing to get back to England, like half of what it would have been if I'd flown directly. And I got 2 holidays from it as well. So that was awesome. And came back to England. No, but you can't see
you're
me.
Back. Yes, no, you've come back.
Like
I've got your picture.
It's like that scene from Titanic. Is there anybody alive out there? Can anybody hear me? Anyway, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that was it. Came back to England from Moscow, went to apply, and I came back to England and applied for my Pakistan visa so I could fly back and continue my trip. Applied for the visa, and didn't hear anything for like a few weeks, which is really strange because the first time I applied for my Pakistan visa, they literally gave it to me the same day. Like I had a meeting with the High Commissioner, and he literally said, I'll give you your visa on one condition, that you write an article about your experience in Pakistan when you get back to England. And I was like, yes, of course I'll do that. So he literally gave it to me on the day, winning. All I had to do was write an article for him. So I had this article all written out when I was heading back from Pakistan on the plane, written an article about how amazing Pakistan was, which is all true. Went to the High Commissioner to try and get it sorted, and the High Commissioner had changed. It was a new High Commissioner. I was like, no! And this new guy he didn't know what to do it. So he said, I'm really sorry, but you're gonna have to go through the. He said, I'm really sorry, you're gonna have to go through the regular channels. I really hope that the High Commissioner doesn't watch this and I get him in trouble. Hopefully, by the way, if you're watching this, High Commissioner, awesome. But anyway. And I had to go through the regular channels through Jerry's visa service, in Stratford. And so I was like, okay, so I went through that, sent it all off, and I heard nothing for like a few weeks. I thought that's weird. So I called him up because I thought it was going to be pretty quick. Still nothing. And then a month goes by, still nothing. And then I'm thinking, this is weird. So I tried to get through to them. They said, there's a bit of backlog, we'll sort it out. 2 months goes by. Still nothing. In 3 months, I'm thinking this is really strange. Like I got it within a day last time.
3 months.
But 3 months goes by, and then they say, "Oh yeah, sorry, we've had some. They'd had a religious festival which had closed things down for a few weeks, and all these things had happened. It would be bad timing, but still, that's a long time." So, I think in the end, I needed my passport for something, so I ended up having to get my passport back and reapplying again. So reapplied, and then. That one then got rejected straight away. That visa application got rejected straight away. And then I was like, okay, this is great. I then tried my other passport, because I got the British and the Irish passport. That and then I realised basically that what the issue was the Indian stamp in my passport was causing issues. Because I was in Pakistan, India. Whereas I didn't realise the first time I applied for the visa, the Indian stamp, I hadn't got it yet. I think I got the Indian after Pakistan, and India didn't care. They gave me the visa, whatever. But Pakistan are quite wary about this kind of stuff, which is, understandable. And then, so that got rejected. And then so I had to apply again. but I didn't realise is that by this point both passports, because all my visas had expired on my trip, I had like Indian stamps in both passports. Like a complete idiot, unbelievable. So it was all just a complete shambles, and I couldn't use any of my passports. Anyway, this went on for months and months and months, and then eventually, fast forward, I think I gave up for like a few months. I was just fed up of just constantly trying to get it sorted. And then the guys at Royal Enfield, Cooper B up in Nottingham, they gave me a motorbike to just to have while I was in England, just to get around, because obviously my bike was stuck out there and I was missing riding. So they gave me a bike, which was really cool, and I was able to do I went down to Cornwall, Devon, and Wales, and Norfolk, and explored all sort of parts of the UK I'd never been to before on the Himalayan, which is amazing. That was so much fun, and it's crazy how you go around the world, but you never see places like on your doorstep.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I'm trying to see a little bit more of the UK now, but obviously we're all locked down. But that is my plan, is to try and explore a lot more around the UK. But anyway, sorry, I interrupt.
Oh no!
Yes. And, so that's where you are now, then.
So that was it. So anyway, eventually, then I had to give the bike back to Royal Enfield. Although I say that's a loose term when I say I gave the bike back to them. I actually destroyed their bike. Because I just kept. Yeah, I destroyed the clutch. Because I kept taking it onto the beach. It was so bad. I was so embarrassed. I thought they were going to kill me, but they were actually so cool about it. They were so nice. So I'm so glad. So Ian or Jack Cooper, if you watch this, I love you guys. I'm so glad you're not angry at me for destroying your bike. But wait, let's not put that in the video, because then if any company wants to give me a bike, feel free. I don't destroy bikes. I take care of bikes. So yes, basically, yeah. If anyone out there wants to give me a bike, I promise I won't ride it on the beach.
Your teeth. What was that? What was that bit about the beach? What did you say about the beach?
If anyone wants to give me a bike. Oh no! If anyone wants to give me a bike, I promise I won't ride it on the beach, and I'll be really careful, and I won't burn out the clutch, and I'll stay on the roads. Okay, like where I belong. So yeah, that was awesome. I'm so glad they gave me a bike to have a bit of freedom while I was here. And I started going crazy. Like I don't know if to go from. I'm sure you. I mean, yeah, you know more than everyone, because I heard on the grapevine, Bruce, that apparently you also went around the world, I think.
No. What I did is I rode to Dover on a GS and got myself a coffee. That's what I did. Yeah. Very good. I'm not talking about it anymore.
You managed to do what I completely failed to do. I mean, I literally only made it like on a globe like this much.
Yeah, but well, there's two things there, Ben. One is we've had COVID, so we didn't have that when I did it, and the other one is I'll guarantee you've probably seen a damn sight more of the countries you've gone through than I did. So I wish I was in a position to travel the way you travel, because that's the way to do it. That's proper adventure traveling.
I guess. I mean, it would have been great to have it in coronavirus to say I'd completed the trip, but if I'd known this was going to happen, I would have raced around the world to get it done. But obviously, hindsight's a beautiful thing.
But I guarantee you'd regret that. You would regret that.
Oh, I actually weirdly, I think you're right. I genuinely would. Like, I'm so glad that I took my time, because the trip's not over yet. We'll get on this later, but the trip is not finished yet. I will finish it. So basically, long story short, I was waiting for this visa. It took so long to come through. And then I think you know where the story's going, in February, March of this year, after like 3 or 4 attempts of getting this visa sent off for processing, I finally got that beautiful call from the visa centre saying your visa is ready to collect. Oh. And I was like, yes. And this was... But they said you have to wear. This is right at the beginning. You have to wear. They said you have to wear a face mask when you come to collect it. Mm-hmm. And there's this video of me going down Stratford High Street with my camera, being like, "Hi guys, I'm picking up my visa now, but I've got to have this face mask on for some strange reason. Not sure why." And I'm like really excited, and I pick up my visa, and I'm all buzzing after waiting like a year or so almost to get this sorted. And then literally I got my visa, and then a week it was less than a week later, the whole world went into into lockdown, and I was like, well, this is pointless. I got new tires, I got loads of new gear to bring back. It was all by the front door, and then I had to ditch it all.
So what's the state of play then with your? Do your visas just run out as normal then, or are they going to give you some sort of concession because of the current situation?
Oh, I wish.
Oh no!
but even funnier, Bruce. Right? This is what's crazy is that I waited all this time for my visa to get back out, and literally just before coronavirus, fairly recently, Pakistan has introduced the e-visa system.
Oh.
Which means you can get a visa online now.
Happy days.
So if that had been in place over a year ago, I could have come back to England, got an e-visa, flown back the next day. No passport sending off, none of that. It's so I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I am a firm believer in what's meant for you won't go by you. I'm not a religious man, but I just think there's something at play that makes the stars align, and when something's meant for you, it happens. You know, you've got to keep yourself going on that path and keep going, but if things are meant to work out, they will. I just think it happens for some reason. I don't know why. So this is happening for some reason, and then you'll be back there.
Oh, but yeah, I think it's so true, because actually, as weird as it is, I'm actually kind of I'm glad that I'm here when it's all happened, because if I'd gone back and then it had kicked off, I could have, all that money on a flight I've had to pay to come back again, or I could have been stuck somewhere where the healthcare maybe isn't the best. And also, especially as I actually got it, well, me and my whole family got it, I realised just how serious it is. Because until that, you sort of don't believe it's real. You sort of think, is this actually a real thing? And I think, and I'm so glad that I was here, not somewhere else when it happened. And also, it's meant also the plan. Always the plan from the start was 5 to 6 years to go around the world roughly, and I'll do it in stages. So, ride from London to Australia. When I'm in Australia, I'd work there for a year, then ship the bike to New Zealand and then to Argentina. Ride up South Central North America. When I'm in Canada, work there for a year, save up the funds again to then do the next leg. And I was going to do it in stages, then in Africa and whatever. But actually, because of all this, basically means I've been working now.
And save.
Which is kind of like to save for the next stage.
Yeah.
Although saying that I all the money I saved this year, working as a key worker. I don't want to brag, but some people call me a hero. If that's what you want to say, that's fine. I'm not going to say, but I don't think that. I'm a humble guy. But if you want to call me a hero for delivering Waitrose supermarket food, that's cool.
It is what it is.
Bruce, don't you sometimes wonder, did you get worried that people who, I'm sure you find this from your videos, if they haven't met you in real life or whatever, and you say things that are clearly a joke or sarcastic, but people take it seriously.
Oh, massively.
And online they'll just hurl abuse at you, and you're like, no, it was a joke.
Yeah. I get it. I get it in my vids more now than I used to, but then the reach of the vids is growing, so the subscriber base is growing, so more people see the vids. But I get that, and that's why I love the podcast, because it's long form content, and it's not written down where you can take it however you like. If you were to text something or write something in a comment, then if you give that to 5 people, well, you'll get 5 different ways of how they interpret what you've written. They might think that you're being sarcastic, one might think you're being funny, one might think you're being serious. And I just prefer this, where you can just face to face have a conversation and explain it. So you genuinely think you're a hero then, Ben? Is that what you're telling me? Basically. Basically, yes. Long story short, yes. I was so worried that people who are literal NHS key workers were going to think, oh my gosh, this guy is such a douche. Such a douche.
But yeah, so it's weird. So it's worked out really well. Be able to save up funds. Mm-hmm. Although I haven't been able to save now that I've literally just bitten the bullet and treated myself to this new bike, which is beautiful. But yeah, I was literally all this year, I was just waiting for the world to reopen so I could continue my trip, get this e-visa from the Pakistan website, which would take a day, and fly. Yeah. And then as time's gone on, I started realising actually this could have gone for a lot longer than we think. And so I thought it's always been my dream to have even before I knew about bikes, even before I did all my trips, I always loved the Triumph Bonneville. I don't know what it is about the Bonneville. I just loved it. And then I saw a Great Escape, obviously, and that's not Bonneville. That's like more of a scrambler, kind of whatever it is.
Yeah, but I can't remember still, that. Is that 1200 scrambler or something they had? I can't remember. People shouting at the screen. Sorry.
Literally. And I always wanted it. And I was like, you know what? I'm in England. Like, I could be here for a while. There's no point, like, being miserable while I'm here. I might as well be happy. And I thought, I'm going to treat myself. And so I have. And I'm over the moon. Honestly, it's
awesome.
It's just a bit. But I thought, I want to go for a ride. But I mean, am I allowed to, maybe you can answer this for me. Am I allowed to go for a ride? Is that allowed?
Strictly speaking, yes, you are allowed to go for a ride. As recreationally. So you can go for a ride by yourself at the moment. You can't do any gatherings, you can't meet at cafes or do anything like that, but you can go out on your bike for a fairly local ride. Like, you couldn't go up, obviously you couldn't get into Scotland, you couldn't go to Wales, you have to stay fairly local, but how do they govern that? I've got no idea. But you are allowed to ride. Yeah. 44 Teeth went and spoke with a solicitor, and they've put up on their social media what the solicitor says, and yes, you can ride. But then there's the whole... Oh, can you hear me now? You got me?
Oh yeah, you're back. There you go. Right. You're back. Yes.
Yeah,
back,
but then there's the whole. I know some other sort of YouTubey motovloggers, and they're sort of taking the stance that it's not ethically right to be out riding, because what if you crash, and then there's implications on the emergency services and all this sort of stuff. But this is my job now, so I have some bikes lined up already, and the manufacturers are still happy to supply the bikes, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to review those bikes. So, but yeah, it's a choice down to you, really, at the end of the day.
Well, I said because I feel bad. I was in the first lockdown, I didn't have a bike at all. But then now I've got a bike. I'm thinking, like, I feel bad if something does happen, especially because I'm not exactly the best bike rider in the world.
just keep it off the beach.
But it's as a essential key worker, I need this bike to get to work.
And you need to de-stress.
Exactly. From all the stress of delivering groceries.
What are you going to do when the world returns to some form of normality and you can travel back to Pakistan? Are you gonna ship the Triumph out, or are you gonna sell it, or what are you gonna do? I suppose it all depends on how long, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even think that far ahead.
You surprised me, Ben. You surprised me.
I just bought the bike. I was like, you know what? I just want it. And then I realised that the bike is worth. You know what? Actually, I just realised the bike costs more than my entire trip cost me for 2 years. Is that bad?
Wow, you're kidding me? Does it? Blimey.
I've just realised
that. Well, don't think about it, Ben. Don't think about it.
My gosh. So you basically, So I mean, the bike itself is worth 3 times what the Honda CRF250 was.
Yeah.
And that's
the bike that's currently in Pakistan.
Yeah, the
CRF250.
Yeah, Honda CRF250. Beautiful, lovely bike.
Perfect round the world bike, isn't it?
Honestly, it's brilliant. I wouldn't do it in anything else. Well, I say that until I bought my lovely new Triumph T100. Now I'm thinking, wow. So yeah, you know what? That's a good point. When all this ends, what do I do with that? I mean,
address that when it comes to it. Don't worry about it now. Just enjoy it for the time being. Who knows how long this is going to go on for?
Well,
Who knows?
But honestly, also, it would be quite cool. It would be quite cool to take the T100 on a little trip, maybe or a big trip. Wink.
Mm-hmm. As we know, any bike will go anywhere, but
exactly.
It's things like the Carney. When you come to getting into Australia and stuff, the Carneys. If you've got a high value bike, the Carney costs a fortune.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And also with the T100, I'm looking at luggage at the moment for it, and obviously it's soft bags look best on it.
Forget functionality.
Yeah,
what looks best.
But I love the boxes. Like I've always, it's a big debate, but I like the boxes because I can park up the bike, lock my stuff in there, and leave the bike and go exploring. But I don't know, if anyone out there has any tips or has a good idea for boxes I can lock on the bike that don't look awful, or soft bags that are lockable, just let me know. Oh, actually,
I can tell you.
Oh, really? Can you? Oh my gosh, yes. Go.
Lone Rider. German company, designed by, I can't remember his name, but it's a chap who actually has been around the world on a bike.
Is that Fred?
Yes.
Fred Schiffer. Is it Fred?
Schiffer? Is it Schiffer?
Yeah,
I can't
Fred
remember
Schiffer.
the surname. Yeah, but he's done the Lone Rider range, which is, I've got them on my GS, on my tractor. They're soft bags. You can collapse them down if you want. You just take out the sort of semi-rigid. It's like a bit of plastic which you fold out inside the bag, and that holds the bag in a box shape. But you can just take that out, fold it up flat, and then pull the bags flat if you want to. And these bags are lockable. They're 100% waterproof with the lining bag. They are stab proof, so he's got videos of people trying to put screwdrivers through the bags, and they are resistant to the punctures. He's dragged them behind a flatbed truck along a track on a bike, got an old wrecked bike, put the bags on, put a tow rope to the front wheel of the bike, and then dragged it behind a truck at speed, and the bags have survived. So it's well worth having a look at. They're not cheap, but you might be able to get given them.
Yeah, and what's the mounting system? Is it the same mounting system as?
At the moment, they are permanently, well, not permanently, but they are bolted to the frame, to the rack, but they are working on a quick release system, so that will be ideal. Because at the moment, once they're bolted on, it's a bit of a pain in the arse to take the bags off.
Yeah.
So, but they come with removable lining bags, so you just open the bags up and then pull the lining bags out. Job done.
Yeah, because I used to leave my boxes on my bike the whole time, and then just take the little inner bags out.
There you go. Check them out, sweet. Lone Rider.
Okay, so Lone Rider, if you're watching this video and you want someone to try out your new adjustable, removable, everything that Bruce just said, please, you know to find me.
I'll tell you what. I'll speak with my contact. Bit of business here, folks. Sorry, I'll speak with my contact, and if you want, I'll give them your details, and if they want to take things further, they'll drop you a line. How about that?
Oh, awesome!
Beautiful.
Yes, it's like Christmas has come early. Sweet.
Right, dude. We could sit here and chat about your trip, my trip, other people's trips all night, but there's a load of questions. So, how do you fancy if we start tackling the questions and see where it takes us?
Sweet.
Beautiful. Happy days. Right, folks, as usual, we'll start off over on Patreon with the clan. Patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Paul Schofield. Hey Ben, awesome to hear from you again. What have you been up to, and any idea when or if you'll be able to finish your trip? Well, we've sort of covered a load of that. But, you've gone, your audio's gone.
Oh no.
Oh, you're back, you're back.
Yes.
You're back,
Yes.
I would say we've pretty much covered that, Ben.
Yeah. Listen, if you live in Hertfordshire and you order Waitrose products, then you'll be seeing me at your front door. That's what I've been doing.
Watch the sales boom. The boom now. They'll boom. Right, next one. The Missenden Flyer. How are we doing, Andy?
Hello, Andy.
Says,
Cheers.
Top fella is Ben. Obvious question. When will you be back on the road? And a follow-up question. When will you be posting videos back on YouTube? Your previous films were incredible.
Really? Those are so boring. I fell asleep watching them. Oh, that's so kind of you to say, Andy. Thank you very much. Cheers.
So, are you going to do anything on YouTube whilst you're back here in the UK?
This is the thing. This is why I wish I was furloughed. Because if I worked for a company that worked, I don't know, say I worked for any company that was furloughed, I would have made such great use of being furloughed. I would have got so much stuff done. And that's why it's annoying. It's annoying that I'm a key worker, but somebody has to feed the nation, you know. Okay, fine, I'll do it.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Stop it. Please stop it. No, please continue, carry on. And So honestly, I've got so much stuff done. And last year, when I was waiting for my visas to be processed, I was working constantly at fuel my footage, and I've got loads of videos all fully edited and ready to go.
Yeah,
but I haven't posted them. I don't know why I've not posted them.
Why not? Get on it.
They've been ready for like 2 years. Some of them have been ready for like 2 years now. And they've just been sat on my hard drive.
Ben,
I don't know why.
What are you playing at? Get them up
I know.
there.
I think I'm like, it's really strange because I went from traveling every day, for 2 years of just constantly out on the road, to then suddenly being at home, unable to travel. And it just made me, I don't know, it made me so sad that when I was in England and I was stuck in England, I know it was out of my hands, I couldn't travel. It just made me so sad. Every time I went up to look at my videos or look at my footage from my trip, I'd be like, oh, this is so annoying, I want to be on the road again. So part of me was kind of like, it's hard to explain, but yeah, it was like maybe, yeah. So, but now I'm thinking, screw it, like, everyone's in the same boat now, whereas last year it was just me who couldn't travel because of the visa. This year, no one can travel. So I know it's really bad, but I feel a little bit better about it because I'm like, no, I'm not alone. No one else can travel.
Again.
So yeah, maybe I should.
You're definitely not alone, brother. Absolutely, there's no better time at the moment. Like not everybody, but there's a huge swathe of people now sat at home watching YouTube. So get on it, get your content up there.
Yeah, well, yeah. When we had the coronavirus last month and we were isolating, I had like 4 days or so that it was horrendous, and I couldn't do anything. I was exhausted in my bed, couldn't move. Then after that, I was totally fine, and then that was great. I was just working through my footage, getting some more stuff done, and learning new stuff on Adobe, whatever, and I was loving it, and. I even written a book as well.
Have you?
And I actually wrote this book like a year and a half ago, I think. And I've no one's seen it. I've not shown it to anyone. The issue is somebody recently at the Overland event, someone was saying that apparently a first book should be like 100,000 words or something as a first time author. My book is like close to 800,000 words.
800,000 words.
I know. I got so carried away, and I was typing it. I was writing it as though I was talking to someone. So it's like a conversation. Like and the worst part is someone said to me, why don't you just send me a chapter and I'll proofread it? And I suddenly realized that I haven't got chapters. It's just one long chunk.
No.
So it's going to be an absolute nightmare to edit. It's just going to be awful.
Oh mate. Oh my God.
So it's like what, four? That's probably like 4 books, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, why not do that? Why not break it down into different books?
But basically the book basically is not just the King on the Road trip. Gosh, that sounds so pretentious. But it's like all my trips from when I was 17. So Asia, North Africa, Central South America, all that. And yeah, I just got carried away. I was just, and then obviously did some more writing when I was in isolation. But yeah, I've got so much stuff to post, but I just haven't posted anything online. I don't know why. I need like, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll do it. I'll get it done. But it's also I'm so busy being a key worker that it's actually quite, all jokes aside, it actually is exhausting doing the driving. Yeah. Because especially now with everyone at home ordering online, the crates, the van is full and it's hard work every day, 9 hours a day. When you finish work, all you want to do is just rest and chill. And editing, I love editing, but at the same time, it is also quite exhausting. It's hard work. You've got to be concentrating. And it's hard to get that stuff done. And on my day off, all I want to do is just chill. So it's hard to get it done at the moment, but hopefully I can find some time.
Yeah, I get you. Do you know Aaron Mitchell? He would have been at the Overland event as well. He went around the world. Yeah, lovely geezer. Well, I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but he was a delivery driver for one of the supermarkets as well. That's what he's been doing. But he's still in the army. He's sort of part-time in the army as well, so he's sort of balancing that and the army and a load of other stuff. But you was saying it's really tiring work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
keep working, mate. Keep working. Fair play to you.
They do say that only the strongest of people can become a delivery driver for a supermarket. That's what they say. I don't say that.
I noticed that when the 80-year-old guy comes to deliver our groceries. Yeah. I end up carrying them in, but never mind. Right, next one. David Hemmings, to you both, whilst on your travels, what's been the best and the worst local food you've eaten? Come on, you go first.
This was on this trip. This was 5-6 years ago when I was in northern Vietnam, and they gave me you have to bite in and eat the snake.
Oh. Oh no!
And then they give you like a shot of snake's blood, and it's apparently like good luck. And I was like 18 or 19 at the time or so, and I was like, yeah, it's cool, I'll do it. And I did it, and I think I filmed myself.
Oh mate,
doing it and
frozen.
Literally threw up.
Oh, you're
and it's
back
all on
again.
camera. It's awful.
You did it and threw up?
Yeah, so I did it, filmed myself, being like, I'm really cool, filming myself doing this, threw up, and it's all on camera, and it's all awful, and it's, never again. That was, but then on this trip, my worst one was actually, it wasn't bad food, it was just Pakistan. I knew that in India you'd get Delhi belly, but I didn't realise it would happen in Pakistan, which kind of makes, of course it would, because they used to be the same country, it's Punjab, it's all the same. Oh, actually, wait, I shouldn't say that. That was really bad. Everyone's gonna eat me alive. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're not the same. They're different countries. Anyway, moving on. We'll move that out. Anyway, so I got food poisoning from some barbecue food in Pakistan. I mean, you can just look at me. I'm a skinny guy anyway, but I got so ill, I lost 21 kilograms, which is
what?
21 kilograms. I went from
How did you
76,
lose 21 kilograms?
I know, I went from 76 down to 50, whatever it is. I can't do the maths. And it was, you should see me. I mean, even now I look ill. I'm still recovering now from it. It's taken me years to put the weight back on. But yeah, that was awful. That was like,
I hate you. I wish I had that problem. What did you eat? I need to eat some of that. I'm nearly double your original weight. God.
No.
Yeah, I'm 20 stone 5, I think, at the moment. I need to lose I want to lose about 3 stone, but I'm not doing anything about it at the moment.
Mate, go to Pakistan. Honestly, go to Pakistan. Go to the Gymkhana in Lahore. Eat their barbecue food. It tastes amazing, but it will save you. It is the greatest.
It will flush you out. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what about you? What was the worst thing you ever had?
I'm trying to think about bad food. I mean, there's nothing that jumps out to me that I ate and thought that is repulsive. The sort of salted cabbage and stuff that they eat in Russia, that's a bit of an acquired taste, but it was all right.
Wait, do they eat it? Is it a snack or do they eat it as a meal?
Well, what I was told, I sort of got friendly with these lads in Moscow, and they said, right, if you're heading east, then you need to be aware of the local customs, of the Russian customs. And they said it's very polite to offer vodka and these salted vegetables. So you get like a plate with like salted cabbage, salted onions, salted peppers, just loads of salted veg, and you're supposed to eat one bit of the veg and then the vodka, one bit of the veg, then the vodka. It's like an accompaniment with the vodka. So obviously I got really drunk for a few days in Moscow, getting used, practicing obviously, to make sure I wasn't going to be rude on the rest of my trip. And I think the vodka just sort of kills your taste buds and you just get used to it. I remember in Moscow thinking, oh God, this is hard going, but by the time I sort of was going across Russia, didn't bother me. just ate it. So what about the best then? What's the best food?
best food.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Firstly, in not on in South America,
mm-hmm.
the ceviche platters that you get of all the fish. I think ceviche is like fish.
Oh, okay, right.
Before I went to South America, I hated fish. I was not a fish person, but I don't know what it is. When I go abroad, I'll be like, I'll try whatever. I'm like super unfussy. I'll have it all. As soon as I come back to England, I become fussy again. Even though I know that I can have the food, I'm like, no, I'll just have chicken and chips and a burger. It's fine. But in South America, it was like in I think Peru or Ecuador or somewhere. They have these massive platters, like $5, and it's like a massive mound of fish, covered in lemon to preserve it or something. And it's like enough for like 10 people, but it's just for you. And it's amazing. Oh my gosh. That was one of the best foods I've ever had. That was awesome. And then in Azerbaijan, the Algerian khachapuri, that kind of bread thing.
Okay,
it's got like a hole in the middle of the bread,
and
then it's filled with like cheese or egg or something, and then you peel the bread out, kind of like is it a fondue? A fondant?
That cheese thing, yeah, where you dip stuff into the melted cheese.
It's like that, and you peel the bread out the edge, and then you just put it into the middle, and it's...
You've paused. Where are you?
That's amazing.
Come back to us, Ben.
That was cool. What about you?
Right, you're back.
Oh.
God, best food. God, blimey. Do you know, I like Japan. Japan was just nice, tasted good, a lot of fish, a lot of sort of meat, and it felt like good, healthy food, and it was tasty, and I just enjoyed it. I liked my time in Japan.
What kind of food do they have in it? What's the traditional Japanese food?
A lot of rice. Well, believe it or not, rice and noodles. Fish. Fish was big. Was it chicken? I'm trying to remember if it was chicken that we had there. So I stayed with a family where the wife was Japanese and the kids were all born and bred Japanese, but the husband, Pete, was an Aussie who'd lived there for about 15, 20 years. So you kind of had a bit of a mixture, because I think he would do some of the cooking. So like sometimes you'd have a bit of a Western edge to it, and other times it was a Japanese edge, and we'd go out for meals as well. And I just liked it. You can get Japanese food here, can't you? No problem. But it just felt nice over there. I liked Japan. Have you been to Japan?
No. That's what I'm talking about. I want to go there so badly.
Loved
but
it.
Not been yet. But was that where you had your? Was that where you had the crash?
Yeah, that's how I met Pete. Was I crashed with a couple other sort of expat riders that were accompanying me to Motegi, to the circuit, and I crashed, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Our mate Pete's got a van. He's a bit handy with some spanners. We'll give him a call." And Pete turned up, and I ended up living with him for like 4 weeks.
I have to say, like, this is I obviously don't want to, bring up your round the world trip, because I know you don't want to talk about it.
I don't like to talk about that. Yeah,
because you're a humble guy. We're humble guys.
I'm not a key worker like you. Yeah. I can't.
But
not anymore.
Yeah. But your video series, honestly, is absolutely incredible. Honestly, there's two that I love and that I could always watch. There's a guy called I don't know how you pronounce it. He's an Irish guy, Oisin Hughes.
Oisin Hughes, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Not Dead Yet or something?
Oh, did you? Yeah. Him.
Yeah.
And then your one. Hey, everybody, have some fun. You only live once, and now dead is gone.
Do you know I make no money at all from any of the Round the World vids because of that song?
Wait,
it's copyrighted, isn't it? No, it's copyrighted. I didn't know. I just used it. I didn't know about copyright then.
Wait, so can you not remove it and re-upload it?
I could re-edit it all, but nah, no point. They don't get big views anyway, so I'm not missing out on much.
Do you not?
No.
You're kidding.
No.
But it's the most. It's filmed so well. It's edited so well, and I watch it. I'm thinking the amount of effort, because obviously it's funny when you watch something, you're like, okay, whatever. But then when you've when you've done a trip and you try to film it yourself, and then you look at other videos and you realise the effort that someone's gone to get that one shot. Like, it's just incredible the amount of time you went to, like, people don't,
Thank you.
People
Thank
don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate it. You know, it's honestly, it's amazing. So if anyone watches this, then you must know that Bruce put a lot of effort into those videos, and please watch them and give him some money.
Thank you very much. Thing is, though, it's like now if you watch the likes of, yourself, Norley, Itchy Boots, you look at the quality of the videos now, and like even the cameras, a simple GoPro now, it's giving you 4K, 5K footage, it's stabilised, the audio's amazing, whereas like when I did it, it was, I think if you could get 720, that was good resolution. You couldn't get 1080. Well, my phone wasn't 1080 at the time anyway, I know that. So it's crazy. Wait, now I look and I just think, I wish I could do a trip like that with a drone and with cameras.
Yeah. What camera did you use?
Oh, God. It's in one of my vids. Towards the end, I go through what luggage I took, and it's in that. It was what they call a bridge camera, so it was not a compact camera. It wasn't a DSLR. It was the one sort of in between. And I had no mics, nothing like that. So the audio was questionable in places, but it is what it is. It's filmed on the road. It's what it was about at the time. Right, next one. Oh, you've frozen, mate. Are you there again? Come in.
Yeah,
Ben.
I'm here. Yeah.
Come in. Hey, you're there.
My Wi-Fi must be horrendous.
Next question.
Yes.
Marshall3498 at YouTube. Ben, what is the best dual sport tyre that you've tried that does the best off-road and does good on-road also? He's laughing.
Oh, it's so funny because I don't know anything about motorbikes, like anything. so people always. I mean, oh wait, hold on one second. I need to get a drink of water.
Nice.
This is my. I'm so lazy, so I'm gonna have my camel pack. Oh, that's good. Oh gosh, my mouth is so parched. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know anything about motorbikes. So people would, on another trip, people would ask me. They'd say, "Oh hey, what oil do you use for your bike? What's the best oil?" And I literally would I'd Google what oil to use for the Series F250, and then it would say use Castrol 10W something, and I'm like, this is great. So I reply saying this is what you use, and they're like, oh, thanks so much, I'll use it as well. And I'm like, okay,
Google
great.
is your friend.
and honestly, I don't know anything. Honestly, it's so funny. So I don't know why I admit these things on camera, because people are going to think I'm so stupid.
Because you're honest and you have integrity.
But someone came to me the other day. They came to me the other day. Oh, Bruce, you're too kind. Someone came to me the other day and said, "You're this." They said, "Oh." They looked at my Triumph Bonneville, and they said, "Is this liquid cooled or air cooled?" And I said, "Oh, great question there. Great question."
It goes vroom when I turn the key.
Literally that. I was like, well, it's got a radiator, whatever that means. And I literally have no clue. But yeah, I'm the worst. But yeah, and so to the tyre, this one I probably can actually answer because I put on Michelin Anarchy Wilds on my bike. I don't know I wonder if I made a note of the sizes on my phone. Hold on. Of what I use, but basically
they'll be specific for the CRF, won't they? For the two.
Yeah, you're right. They'll be specific. Yeah, you're right. See that again.
But Anarchy Wilds, Michelin Anarchy Wilds,
and they were great because they lasted all the way from London to Istanbul. Wow. I changed them in Istanbul, and then they made it all the way to the China border with Pakistan and India. So that literally 2 sets got me the whole way there. Amazing, and they did what I think in the end, as the crow flies. I think from London to where I ended up is 10,000 kilometers, 12,000 kilometers maybe.
Yeah.
But because I didn't really plan my route very well, and I literally did a weird zigzag.
You surprised me.
I think I did. I think I did 20. I think I did 28 28,000 miles, which is like 40,000 kilometers, I think, maybe. I don't know.
That's almost around the world. In fact, I think it is around the world.
I don't know. I haven't measured out, but it's basically double or triple what it should have been as a crow flies. The fact that my tyres survived all that is amazing. And also, because I didn't plan my trip, I went through all the worst seasons. So I was going through the Balkans, Eastern Europe in the middle of winter, and then Turkey in the middle of winter, Iran in the middle of summer, and it was like 50 degrees. And these tyres handled everything. Didn't get not a single puncture.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so I had the Michelin ultra heavy duty inner tubes, and then the tyres as well, and they were amazing. Honestly, they were so good. So yeah, that is my answer. Yeah.
There you go, Michelin Anarchy Wilds.
Boom. Oh, actually, before on that topic, if someone can help me out, I want to buy for my Triumph. I want it to look like a scramblery kind of vibe. So I want to get some knobblies on my Triumph Bonneville, which I know is a bit bad, but if anyone's got any recommendations, please send them to me, because I want to put some cool knobblies on. Maybe, I don't know, like the TKC 80s, the Continentals, I don't know, or the Mitas E10s. If anyone's got any tips, or please send them my way. And
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Instagram?
Oh,
Facebook?
Great question. Yeah, Instagram, The King on the Road.
Hang on. You've broken. You've frozen.
Oh no! Right when I was doing my plug. No. Awful timing.
You're back.
So, yeah,
You're back.
King on the Road.
Right. So what's the best way of people getting in touch with you? Bear with us.
The King on the Road on Instagram and Facebook. Maybe YouTube, but once I start uploading again. But focus on Instagram and Facebook. And yes, please send me your recommendations. Oh, also, and for luggage as well. Oh no, don't worry, we sorted that already. That's already sorted.
What I'll do, folks, is if you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes, and if you're watching the YouTube vid, look at the vid description, and there'll be links there to all Ben's socials, so you can drop them a line.
In this box here will be a button to click.
Next one, Pete English. Now, Pete has a reputation for his questions.
I've heard of this guy.
Everyone's heard of Pete. He should be coming on the podcast. I was supposed to have him on a month or so ago, but I ended up in hospital with pancreatitis, so I had to sort of cancel that podcast. But I will get Pete back on. So, Pete English, hi guys, hope you're both fitting well. Question: would you rather take a look at your mum or your dad's internet history? That is genius.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
What the heck?
Wow. Mum or dad's internet history. Sheesh.
I mean, I'll be polite and let you go first if you like, Bruce.
Well, sadly, my mum's no longer with us. Bear in mind that my dad lives by himself. I really don't want to be looking at his internet history. So I will say my mum, bless her, when she was alive, I would look at her internet. Actually, no, because what if I found something? Oh, probably my dad's, because I expect my dad to look at a little bit of grot here and there. He's a bloke. So...
yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to take the safe answer and agree. I don't think I could handle. Although actually, I'm pretty sure if I looked at my mum's, it would just be her trying to find any articles or interviews that I've done. That's what it would be.
That's exactly. I was thinking, my mum would be looking at shops, dog rescues, all that, which she would have. But what if you found something? What if there was something else? And I'd just be, oh no, I couldn't have that. Whereas with my dad, I expect that. So yeah, I'll look at my dad.
Actually,
I'll keep the memory of my dear mother alive. I'll keep it nice and pure. I don't want to know.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good question, Pete.
I can't wait to get him on and interview him properly.
Oh no, yeah. Everyone will be able to get their own back.
Yeah, you can get revenge. You can get revenge finally. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Actually, one thing before you move on from, we can actually use Pete's incredible question. Did you, speaking of like people like searching up online, to, whatever, and to see if you're alive, did you have like a tracker on your trip so that your family and friends could follow you and find out if you're alive?
Yeah, I used, they're really advanced now, but I used one of the early spot trackers, the little sort of orange.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a little orange box that I would have on the bike. And a friend of mine is a bit of a techie whiz. I subscribe to the spot tracking thing, and what I do is at the end of every day, I would push. Has it squirted everywhere?
This alcohol-free beer has literally gone everywhere. I don't know if you heard that sound.
I did hear it. Yeah.
It's got. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry, Karen. I was going to mop this up.
Yeah. Do you want some time to mop it up?
Oh no, it's fine. It's just gone all over the floor and my nice footrest.
Yeah, just suck out the carpet. You'll be all right. What you do with the spot tracker is at the end of every day when I made camp or got to wherever I was going, I'd push this sort of button, and I'd already pre-programmed it with my sort of emergency contacts, so my missus, family, all that sort of stuff. So when I hit that button, it would automatically email them just to say, I've got to the point, I'm safe, this is my GPS coordinates. So they could look on a map then, and I linked it up to Facebook as well, so it would automatically post on there. So every day people could see, all right, you're here, and it was a Google map, so they could zoom in and see where you were at.
No way.
Yeah, but my mate, Ian Lindsay, he's a bit of a techie wizard, and he created some little widget to put on my website that would cumulatively track the whole route. So there used to be a little widget on the website, and it would just plot everywhere it had been. But sadly, that's gone now because I've redone my website. I've lost the widget, and I don't have.
No.
I don't think I do. Maybe I could still get it, but that had my actual plotted route everywhere I'd been, and it was really cool. But I don't know where it is now. But yeah, Spot Tracker. Have a look at that. Are they expensive?
You have to buy the unit, and then you got to pay a membership or some sort of thing.
At the time you had to buy the unit, and then you had to buy a subscription, like a yearly subscription, and there were different levels. So I think all in I was about £300. I think all in for the unit, for the subscription. But I don't know how much they are now. They're probably a lot cheaper, and the technology will be a lot better.
Yeah.
Worth doing. It's peace of mind for family, and it's a great way for people to follow you.
Because I didn't have anything on I had no tracker at all. I was posting every day, and occasionally I'd go on like a silence when I was in like remote areas or, in bad situations where I couldn't post. And then my family would stress out, because the only reason really I was posting online was for my family to see I was alive.
Yeah.
And then obviously it actually turned out to be quite a good thing, because it meant that I've got like a memory now of my trip. Mm-hmm. And then bikers from all over the world would then get in touch. So it's beautiful. Social media is great in some ways. But yeah, I had no tracker. So really my posting was my tracker. That was the way that people knew I was alive, which is kind of scary.
It's worth having a look at. They're called Spot. I think it's Spot or TeapotOne, I think it's called. But it's well worth having a look at. Good. Right, next one. Matt Jordan. To each of you, based on your experiences so far, if you only had time, money and resources to ride around one country, which one would you go back to, and what would you choose to ride it on? Ooh. Go on, which one's yours?
That's a great question.
Very good.
Only one country. See, I loved Colombia. The whole of South America I loved. Yeah. No, Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. Yeah, I think Brazil, because the lifestyle, the food, the language, the people. I think
Have you been to Peru?
Yeah, I loved Peru. Peru was amazing. Yeah,
I thought
that was epic.
Peru was such a beautiful place. And then
Actually,
I just came into Colombia, and then literally I was there for about 2 days getting my shipping sorted, because I flew the bike across the Darien Gap to Panama. So I was literally just in this hostel for a couple of days in Colombia, and I didn't explore it. I just sort of came in from the east, and I would love to see more. I've heard so many good things about the place.
Yeah, it is just, honestly, the girls are just... Although they were saying that I had a really bad... after my car crash when I was 17,
yeah,
I always said I'd never take passengers ever in a vehicle again. And then obviously did go into motorbikes and whatever, and was doing stuff. When I was in, I think Medellin, which I think is just south of Bogota, I think. I was in Medellin and I met this beautiful girl, and she was like, let's go to Cartagena, right by the coast. I was like, okay. And she was like, let's go on your bike. And I was like, all my morals just went out the window because she was so hot. And I was like, okay, get on the back. And we did, anyway, we ended up, we had an amazing time there, got to the coast, and then crashed. There was some oil on the road, and I came off, and we crashed. And I was back then, before I did the trip, I was not really like a biker. I was wearing flip-flops, swimming shorts, no t-shirt.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Right. Oh no, did you freeze? Did you freeze?
Yeah, you totally froze. So you crashed, then what happened?
Yeah, so we crashed, and obviously I wasn't a biker then, so I wasn't wearing any of the gear. I was literally in flip-flops, swimming shorts, no t-shirt, nothing. And we'd been at the beach. I think we'd been out to the beach or something. So we're both not wearing anything really, and we hit some oil on the ground, crashed. I skidded along the floor, and all the skin of my foot and my leg is all just shredded, and it's awful. And we're both in shock. These amazing Colombian locals rush out of their houses, and they come out. They put out some cardboard boxes, and they crush some boxes on the floor for us to sit on, for us so we could lie down. And then the funniest thing was this lady then comes out. This Spanish lady speaks no English. She comes out with like a spatula, like a big spatula, full of like white, sparkly stuff, which she said was sugar. But when you're in Colombia, I mean, you have no idea. And she's like, take this. And I'm like, okay. And so she gives this to me and the girl, and we take the sugar just because obviously we're in shock, trying to get our sugar levels back up.
Sugar. Yeah.
So she gives us, and then she gives us some pills as well. Gives us some medicine as well.
Did you take your sugar like this, with a rolled up note, or rubbing it in?
I thought that's how it's supposed to be done in Colombia. That's what they said. No?
Apparently so. Yeah.
Unless I've been misinformed. Anyway, and then within minutes,
when in Rome.
Yeah, literally. And then, actually, funny story. When I was posting my stuff over my trip, it's like half of like the comments on my videos or photos were people saying that they thought I was just constantly on cocaine. And they'd be like, where'd you get it from? And I'm like, do you really think I could afford to do this trip if I spent all my money on
with a cocaine
drugs?
habit?
Like, how could I afford? But they genuinely thought it was. It was crazy. Anyway, that was that was like most of the comments. But yeah, so yeah, we crashed, and then the police showed up in a police truck and took my bike and on the back of the truck and took it away to whatever. And then obviously at that point I didn't have a bike license, so I couldn't legally ride a bike.
Oh no!
So I wasn't insured. I couldn't go to hospital, and so another police truck came and picked us up and took us back to the hostel we were staying in, and they took the bike, dropped it off outside of the hostel as well, so we could get it repaired. And and yeah, I couldn't go to hospital, so I had to self-medicate. So I actually bought. So the police dropped us off on the way at the pharmacy to buy all the medical supplies. We're back to hospital.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And then we get back to hospital, and I'm literally pouring iodine like on my wound in the middle of like the lobby area of the hospital. Like, it's disgusting, and I'm trying to sort myself out, and it's just it was awful. And I'm bandaged anyway. Then this amazing girl turns up, and she comes over and she says, I'm not even trying to do the accent because my accent's awful. She's like, okay, I'll try. She's like, you're out of there. You're out of there, Bean. That was Australian, by the way. She says, oh, I'm a doctor from Australia. Let me sort you out. I'm here on sabbatical for a year. You're doing it all wrong. Let me fix you up. So she fixed me up. And
what about your injury? I'm here for about another hour.
It was amazing. So she fixed me up, and she was also very, very attractive. And so we ended up traveling. We actually ended up traveling together for quite a bit, which worked out really well because she would sort out my leg and other. It was great. It was awesome. It was just brilliant.
We'll not go
so
there.
That was really cool. Colombia has a fond.
I remember.
Fond memory.
Oh, you've broken. You've frozen.
Hello, can you hear me?
This plumbing connection. Hang on. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I've got you now. Yeah, you all froze there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I remember when I crossed into Colombia, I got proposed to by in the petrol stations. A lot of the petrol stations have women working at the petrol stations. Well, I got proposed to by one of the ladies there. I pulled up to get some fuel, and like the girl who's dressed like a mechanic in the sexy overalls, like all the makeup with the buttons all done down to here. She came over and she said something in Spanish, and I was like, oh, no hablo español, English. And she was like, you're English. And I said, oh, well, Scottish, but yeah, English. And she went, oh, you're Scottish. And I can't remember the name she shouted, but let's just say it's Catherine. She was like, oh, Catherine will love you. And she shouts like this girl's name. And the next thing, this like 6-foot Amazonian secretary type, long black hair, glasses, mini skirt, stockings, high heels. She comes walking out, and these two have a little conflab, and then she just looks at me and she goes, say something to me. So I was like, how you doing? You okay? Everything all right? And she just sort of came over, threw her leg over the tank and just straddled it looking at me, and she was like, marry me, take me away. And it was like, wow, this is Colombia. Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Good place. Right.
They are amazing.
Okay, all right. So, one place. So you would do Colombia then? I think that was the original question. You go back there and choose to.
Oh yeah.
To ride around.
And I'm pretty sure say like one of the places I went on my trip recently, like Iran, Pakistan, which I loved. But yeah, in terms of traveling around, and I can see myself living somewhere in South America, 100%. I just love it. When I finish my trip, which I have to do, I want to settle down in South America because it's just the greatest place. I love it so much. Man.
Yeah. I think if I had to settle in one place and ride there as well, I think it would probably be Japan, Japan or Norway. Norway was beautiful. Norway's good. Really? Just so expensive, but the wages are good in Norway. You can be a road worker over there and earn 60 grand. So it's sort of comparable, really. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like,
wow.
Excuse me, it's 11 quid for a pint, 12 quid for a pint. So, it's comparable.
How much do they pay? How much do they pay supermarket delivery drivers?
What, key workers?
That's what I'm qualified for.
I'd imagine they'd pay a fair bit, actually. Yeah, I imagine they probably would. But it's like 60% tax, I think, 50 or 60% tax in Norway. It's hefty, and then like everything is so expensive there. But then it just looks such a beautiful place, it really is. So Norway or Japan for me, Matt. That's where I'd go.
Amazing,
right, next one, Ray Holohan. Go light, go fast.
Wait, before we continue, I need to go for a quick leak. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Yeah.
Normal services will resume. All good.
Yes. My gosh, I've broken the seal. I knew I shouldn't have started with a milkshake, a coffee, Coca-Cola, and a beer. That was a bad move.
Oh my God, you've done well to get this far. It's like an hour and a half.
I know, but I hope you use that few minutes to plug your trip.
What trip? I don't talk about it. Yeah, we'll just jump cut straight to this bit. Right, next question. Ray Holohan. Go light, go fast, go far is something we hear of from experienced adventure bikers. Ben, would you take the same bike again on your around the world adventure, and would you pack differently?
Oh, that is actually a good question, because I set off on my trip, and people always ask me this actually. I changed my luggage setup halfway through. So when I set off, I left with, I've got to be careful what I say here. I don't want to insult any companies. Okay, so when I set off, I got the Krieger Duo 36 saddlebags.
Okay.
For my bike. Now, what I've realised recently is that those bags are basically designed for the bike I've got now, the Triumph Bonneville. And if I put them on the Bonneville, they would be amazing, like so awesome, like just strap them on the back of the seat, perfect. For the CRF 250, they are not designed really for the CRF. I should have gone for I forgot what they're called, but Krieger do another set.
The dry bags.
Yeah. I should, and you can mount them onto the frame, and they would have been perfect. But I didn't. I went for the Duo ones, which aren't designed for an off-road bike. They're designed for like a city urban, ride.
Gotcha.
And so they flop all over the place. And then the exhaust, basically, as I got into Germany, the exhaust burnt a hole through the bags because they'd slipped down out of place. Burnt a hole through them. They were no longer, I kept patching them up and whatever. And after a few months, they weren't waterproof anymore. They were useless. And I had to get rid of them. And ended up going for the Touratech boxes. So I ended up finding, so it was a Honda bike, CF250. I ended up finding a pannier rack from a KTM 690. And then the pannier rack on the other side, I found a spare pannier rack from a BMW GS 1200. And then the bar along the back, which supports the two panniers, was the handlebars cut down to size from a Triumph Tiger Explorer.
Seriously?
So it was a Honda bike with a KTM, Triumph, and BMW rack system. All that was missing was Yamaha and Kawasaki to throw in some parts to make it an ultra bike. But it was great. So it took me a few months to build this. The first pannier rack was designed by a guy, Mark, in the UK. Again, he helped with the first side. And then the second side was done, I think, in Amsterdam or Germany by some guys there.
Ben. You paused. You paused again. So I got up to. You said it took a couple of months or a month to build, and then you froze.
Yeah. It was a few months. So the first side rack, the KTM side rack, was done by a guy called Mark in Essex. He helped me out with that side, and then I think it was Amsterdam or Germany. Those guys provided the BMW side. And then I forget where it was. Was it Austria where I got the middle bracket built? And every country I go to, I'd find a new welder and we'd weld it on. And it took a while to get it sorted. And we finally created the ultimate rack for my CRF. And, it's you can't find a rack for the CRF. You can't buy one off the shelf. I mean, maybe now you can. I don't know. But back then you couldn't. So possibly now, but back then you couldn't find anything. There was no pannier rack for the CRF. And so you had to build it. I probably should have sold it actually, because it was a really good design. It was really awesome. And it worked so well. And it meant that I was able to mount on these Touratech 30-litre whatever panniers to the bike. And then I had my Givy 30 whatever litre top box as well. and so everything was lockable, so I could ride somewhere, park up the bike. I loved it. I have to admit, I preferred it to the soft bags, but it was only because I went for the wrong kind of soft bag. It was my fault. I should have gone for a different kind. That's my answer. So
it's a peace of mind, isn't it?
Could do it again. That's it. If I could do it again, I'd start with the hard panniers right from the get go. But the bike was beautiful. Definitely love that one. What about you? Because yours is your bike. Is just.
Well, I had the Krieger soft bags, the dry bags, and they were spot on for me. I took way too much luggage when I first left, and sort of by the time I was halfway across Russia, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I've got so much stuff here I'm never going to use. I had like a full toolkit with absolutely no knowledge on how to use any of it. So I was like, what's the point of me having this? So I ditched it. I kept the socket from a rear wheel so that when I had to tighten the chain, I could do that on the road. So I kept the socket and handle to do my rear spindle. I kept, I think, a set of Allen keys and a cross-edge screwdriver and a spade end screwdriver, and ditched everything else. And I had loads of ration packs. I had like 2 weeks worth of ration packs, and I was like, why do I need that? There's food everywhere. So I ditched that. I had an air mattress. Yes. I don't need that. Got rid of it. Clothes, don't need any of them. So I just ditched it sort of halfway across Russia. And then it was fine after that. I think if I was to go again, I would invest. If I was doing a big trip, I'd invest in a good suit. So I've bought myself a rucker, top and bottoms.
Yes.
Mega expensive, ridiculously expensive, but
are they close to $2,000 for the whole thing? Is it?
Yeah. For the jacket and bottoms, it was just under $2,000. But I got it Infinity with the 0%, so 0% finance. Cost me £70 a month over 2 years. Bosh, I've got a full rucker suit. So I would take a good quality suit. I would take my phone, passport, credit card, and I'd hit the road. That'd be it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a tent and a sleeping bag if you're gonna camp, and that would be me.
But that's it. The less planning you do, like the better the trip, because you haven't got any expectations. You just go with the flow, and if someone says go here, you can go there. Like, you haven't got to be like, oh no, I've got to get here. You can just be flexible. My route was literally planned by people messaging me on the internet. Like, I'd get somewhere and be like, right, I'm going to go here next. And then I'd get a message on Instagram or Facebook saying, hey, come and stay with us. We're completely in the wrong direction to where you're going. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I turn around and head back the wrong way. And literally 3 months after I left England, I was in Belgium.
3 months.
You could probably see England from where I was staying. So I'd literally gone all the way down south and then gone back on myself up. And I was literally the other side of the channel 3 months later after setting off. I was like, how have I done this? Like, what is going on? But it was great.
Sort of did, with social media, I did the similar sort of thing, but I kept it along my route. So if someone said, oh, you should come here or go there, if it was if I'm heading east, for example, and it was east, then I'd be like, yeah, all right, I'll go there. And yeah, I just loved doing that, but I didn't do it as drastically as you. So what were you doing? Were you camping? Did you camp wild, or what did you do? Did you couch surf?
So at the beginning, I was really, I was nervous. I was scared because how do you well camp? So the first few weeks or so, I was camping, but I was camping in campsites because I was too scared to. And I got a feel for how to actually set up the tent and whatever, cook my own food, how to turn on the stove, stuff. And then when I was in the south of France, I actually met up with a friend of mine who I travelled. I'd met him in South America, and he was actually the guy who introduced me to the long way round 4 years before.
Wow!
And he wasn't a biker; he was a cyclist. And when I set off on my trip, on this recent trip, he was just finishing his cycle trip around Europe. So I said, hey, listen, let's meet up in the south of France. A nice location. So we did. We met up in the south of France, and he'd been wild camping the entire trip around Europe. And I said, listen, I'm really scared like to wild camp. I don't know what I'm doing. He said, listen, I've been doing it for the past few months, because he said he was on a really tight budget, and with his bicycle he could camp anywhere really. It's quite easy. And so I met up with him, and he basically like taught me how to wild camp. And I met up with him, and we traveled together for a bit. I'll be riding slow on the motorbike. He was obviously on his bicycle, and he said, right, it's getting darker now. Let's find somewhere to camp. I was like, okay. So I thought it'd take an hour of searching, and he literally a few seconds after that he goes, oh, there's a little clearing through those bushes on the side of the road. Let's go through there. So we did. We went through, and it sort of opened out to this nice flat area off the main road, out of sight. He said, yeah, this is perfect. I was like, what? It's that easy? And we set up tent, and it was great. We had such a fun time. And then the next night, the same thing happened again. And then I absolutely loved wild camping with him. Like on our final night, I drove to the supermarket in the local town, stocked up on loads of wine and to have a lavish glass.
Sugar.
To slum it. And had an amazing, it was more like glamping, fancy camping. And it was so much fun. And then after that, it was the worst thing doing that with him, because after that, every time I wild camped by myself, it was so boring. And those are the only time I love traveling alone. Like, I wouldn't travel with anyone, I don't think, ever. But in the evening when you're wild camping and you're staying up, that's when you wish there was someone you could share it with, because it makes it so much better when you're with someone. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but being alone is great because every day you go wherever you want. But in the evenings when you're wild camping, that's when it's nice to have someone else sort of with you, isn't it?
See, I quite like being with people during the day, but on my trip, by the evening, by the time I put the tent up, I just wanted to go to sleep. So I would literally I'd put the tent up. I didn't cook or anything. I didn't cook wild. I would eat during the day at petrol stations, and just depends what happened during the day. I'd just get the food then, and then in the evening I would literally just put the tent up, get in, go to sleep, and then wake up sort of 5-6 in the morning and pack everything up, get back on the bike, and off you go. And so evening time was just sleep. That's all I would do. That's it. If I had a phone signal, I'd look at my phone and try and figure out a route for the next day or something to do, check social media if I had any sort of signal. And but I quite like the alone time of an evening. But during the day, I loved the social side of just meeting up with people during the day.
Yeah, because people always say, aren't you alone? Aren't you, don't you get lonely when you're on your trip all alone? But as you know, you're never alone during the day. You're always surrounded by people. Often you'll be fighting to get some alone time because you're just constantly bombarded by people. You'll hide down the alleyway to just have some peace and quiet, which is not a bad thing. It's nice that people want to talk with you, but by the evening, what you want to do is just relax.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, just have your own time and just chill. Yeah. Right, next one. Richard JG. Not sure you get to watch much TV. I know when I've been abroad working, a good film or box set helps the downtime fly by. Question. If you could change the ending to any film, what film would that be and how would it now end? Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh.
Oh wait, you froze. Your audio froze slightly there. Could you repeat the question?
If you could change the ending to any film, what film would that be and how would it now end?
Oh, 100% The Italian Job. I want to see them get off. I want to see them get off that cliff. And spend all that gold. It annoys me so much that they never made a sequel. I know that's how it's supposed to be, but it's so annoying. Like that song.
I didn't even think of that film. I'm trying to think of a film. That's a good point. Blimey, what film would I want to see the end of? I'm trying to think of films now. My mind's gone blank. Oh. No. Cancel that. It's a real one. God, I can't think, mate. I can't think of a film. How bad's that? Do you watch much TV?
Oh yeah, I'm like a massive, not TV, but I'm a massive film buff. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm obsessed with film. Like it's like it's my life.
Yeah, I can't think, Richard. I'm really sorry, pal. I can't. My mind's gone blank. I can't think of one. But Ben's knocked it out of the park with the Italian job. Didn't even think of that.
I don't know how I came up with that. That was just, and now that song's in my head as well. This is a self-preservation society. Da, 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 da. Is that even the lyrics?
You're gonna have to go and watch the film now, aren't you? Right, next question.
Yes.
Oh, well, Stitch is just saying, well done, Ben. Keep on keeping on, mate. Good on you. Next one, Brian McManus. Hello, gentlemen. Not a question, more of a request. Ben, please tell us about when you got arrested in the Middle East and a Facebook follower came to your rescue. Love your enthusiasm for life and adventure. Over to you.
Oh my gosh. I've just realised what he's talking about. I was trying to think what he was talking about.
What other time did you get arrested?
Yeah. Well, I had a few encounters with the authorities. Yes. Yeah, I had a few encounters with the authorities and the intelligence services, but I'm pretty sure what he's talking about was when I was down, because initially the plan was to go from Turkey into Syria, northern Iraq, and then to Iran. Mm-hmm. But when I got to the Syrian border, they wouldn't let me cross because there'd been a drone strike the day before, and 30,000 people were evacuating, trying to get out. Mm-hmm. So I then followed the border around, tried to get into Iraq.
Ben, this would have been, what, 2017, 2018?
This would have been, 2000 and...
You tried to get in Syria in 2000. Oh, my God.
I didn't do any planning or research, so I just thought, let's go with it.
Watch the media, news, maybe?
I know, but I was like, how accurate can the news really be? So I was thinking, So I was thinking, let's just do it. But it turned out that actually, it was, the news was actually kind of correct, and I couldn't get in. But I did speak to someone who did manage to get in a few years before me. But that was to Iraq, not Syria. But yes, I couldn't get into Syria. So I was escorted away from the border. Then I tried to get into Iraq, and they wouldn't let me. They said you can cross in, but you can't bring your bike in. I said, no, I need to bring the bike in to get into Iran. Mm-hmm. I could have just crossed into Iran from eastern Turkey, from whatever it is, Van or whatever the town is. But I wanted to go a bit more, cool.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that sounds so. What's the word? Bad. Cool. Oh, I didn't care if I died. I just wanted to go the cool route. That sounds so bad. Such a first world. Anyway, let's move past that. Anyway, I wanted to go the more cultural route. See more of the culture.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Anyway, and they wouldn't let me. They said you can come in. You can come in, but your bike can't come in. I was like, I need to get the bike in. So I couldn't get into Iraq, and so I got some message on Facebook from someone saying, I see you're trying to get east, but please, if you can't get, towards where you're going, make sure you go to Georgia and Azerbaijan. You can get a visa on arrival, insurance on arrival. It's amazing. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that, Georgia and Azerbaijan. So I looked, and sure enough, they were correct. So I thought, right, let's head towards Georgia. So I completely turned around, headed all the way up Turkey, to the north of Turkey, to Georgia. And that was a whole crazy adventure. But just after I left the Iraqi border, I pulled up to the Iraqi border, and I decided to do a little video, look where I am, I'm by Iraq.
Oh. Yeah.
And I pulled over, and I'd not turned the ignition off of the bike. I just stalled it. So the ignition was still on. And my little battery that I have on my bike was powering so much stuff. I had my GPS charge, the Garmin, whatever, charging, which I never used, really. Clearly I didn't use it because I got lost all the time. Anyway, that's it. Maybe if I'd used it, it would have taken me 2 years to get to China. Correct? How did I think of that? Crazy. Anyway,
who'd have thought
that was so? I had the. I know, amazing, right? And I was powering that. It was powering the phone GPS. It was powering my heated grips, all my heated clothing, my extra beam light. No idea why I needed an extra light. anyway, I had that powered to the battery. All these things, which meant if I left the ignition on and didn't have the engine on,
just
for like for 30 seconds, for initially 30 seconds, it was gone. So I pull over, do this video, like, hey, look where I am. Went to leave. I was like, oh crap, the battery's flat, and it was flat road as well. And I was like, no. So I'm literally like, what do I do? Trying to find like some army guys to push me. No one was going to help. Luckily, this tractor turns up and goes by, and I'm like stood on the side of the road, like right, like literally by the right water, like this, like trying to hitchhike for someone to help me. And this old guy on a tractor. Oh my gosh! I've just realised this story makes me sound so stupid. But anyway, I'll continue. Anyway, so these old guys, they must be like 70 years old, get out of this tractor, and they speak no English, but I'm trying to explain. Can you push me? So they're pushing the bike down this road to try and bump start it in second gear. And
well, these pensioners,
literally these pensioners, like these are old in it, and I'm like these guys. I mean, this could have killed them. They could have had a heart attack and never made it back, and I would have felt very bad. That sounded so sarcastic, but I literally would have felt really bad. Anyway, they're pushing me, and I'm like, oh, it's not working. I keep dropping the clutch, and it's not working. Keep going, slave. And I'm whipping them, and I'm saying, work faster. Okay, I'm not. That was a joke. I'm not doing that. But anyway, they're pushing the bike, and it's not working.
Now you've frozen. And now you've frozen.
I suddenly look.
Right, now you've come back. You're back.
Have I returned?
Yeah, you're back.
Yes! I was just at the good part. So hopefully the camera didn't pick me up saying that I was whipping them as my slaves.
No, it got that.
Oh, no. Anyway, so that was a joke. Well, I've also tried to thought. But yeah, and so they're pushing me, and I'm like, I suddenly look down, and I'm thinking, oh my word!
Turn the ignition on.
The bike's been in neutral the entire time, and they've been pushing me for like 15, 20 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but that's a long time when it's hot and they're old. We just kept trying, and we kept thinking, what's going on? And we could see it. There was a slight dip in the road beyond, so we're aiming for that dip in the road. Mm-hmm. Turned out we didn't need a dip in the road. We just needed me to put the bike into gear.
You plonker.
And I said to them, listen, so I slightly put my foot down. I'm like, okay, put it into gear. I'm like, guys, let's try one more time. I'm sure it'll work this time. They're like, no, we are finished.
We're nearly
I don't know
dead.
why they had a weird French accent there. But we tried, and sure enough, in gear, it works straight away. And after that, I felt so awful. And I rode off. Obviously, I didn't stop because I had to keep going, obviously. And yeah, I felt horrendous. Anyway, I left there. That wasn't even the story. We left there.
You see what I've got to work with.
Honestly, I feel so bad for whoever has to edit this video. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
There's no editing. There is no editing.
Oh gosh, this is that. Crikey. And
although we'll have to do something with all these freezes.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're right. Oh, am I okay for now?
Yeah, you're okay. You come back. You came back.
Good. Yeah, and so I set up, and by the that part of Eastern Turkey, Southeastern Turkey, there's loads of checkpoints constantly. They always, every time you stop, they say, "Oh no, why are you here?" Blah blah blah. I got to the last one of the day. Actually, before that, no, that's a long story. That's just too long. We'll move on. At the end of the day, I get to this final checkpoint of the day, and I get to this checkpoint, and they drag me off my bike, and they're like, "Come with us." I'm like, "What the heck? What's going on? This is crazy." My bike's there, all my cameras are still recording. I have no time to turn it off. And they take me down this long road, off the main road, through into this army barracks, and they bring me into this compound. They sit me down, and they start interrogating me, but they don't speak English. I don't speak Turkish or Kurdish. I'm not sure what language they speak over there. They get very. I got very abused on social media for saying I was in Kurdistan, because all the locals kept saying "Welcome to Kurdistan." So I put a video up saying I'm in Kurdistan. Then all the Eastern Turkish got angry, said, "No, you're not. It's not Kurdish. You're Turkish." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And I had to delete the video. Anyway, that's another story. They put me in this room, and I got Google Translate out, and I'm using Google Translate while they're interrogating me. So they're saying stuff, and then I'd translate it. I'd see what they've said, and I'd reply. And obviously, Google Translate isn't very accurate. It's awful. But anyway, this goes on for hours and hours, and they start searching my my bag. They start searching me, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, what's in it? And I'd had like 20, 30 of these checkpoints all day, but they'd never dragged me into like a room before. They'd always just let me stay on the bike or pull to the side of the road. And the funniest thing was when I was in Istanbul, they said to me, don't go into Syria, Iraq or whatever, or run with your British passport. Use the Irish one, and especially don't let them see you've got 2 passports. So I planned on hiding my passport behind the battery of the bike. But earlier in that day, when I tried to hide the passport, I'd pulled off the main road.
You're breaking
and
again,
I started
Ben.
taking the side panel, the fairings. No! No!
You're back.
Yes. So earlier in that day, when I'd pulled off the main road and I'd pulled into a field to take the fairings off the side of the bike, and to hide the passport behind the battery, and then screw it all back in. And turned out this that had been right by an army base, and they'd seen me from their control tower or whatever, and sent an armored truck out to go and get me off. Because turned out there's still areas in that part which are mined, and they refused to get off the main road. They were like, "You come here." They're like, no, and I'm like, what's going on? And I quickly had to retrace my steps back to the main road, and they refused to come to me, so I had to come to them, and I didn't have time to hide my passport. So I got back to the main road, followed them to the checkpoint. They actually were really friendly, actually. They were really nice. They literally, but I was a bit scared. Anyway, I didn't have time to hide my passport. So while I'm being interrogated later on in the day in this room, I'd stuffed my passport down the inside of the waistband of my trousers. And it was slipping down my trouser leg. And I was like, no, this is not good. Luckily, the bottom of the trousers is quite tight near the boot. And it stayed there. But I was like, if I'm not careful, it could slip out. So, and that looks really bad if a passport falls out, because then it shows I'm trying to hide it.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Anyway, so I said I need to go to the toilet. So they said, okay. They took me to the toilet, and they went to the urinal, and the guy just stood there staring at me. And I was like, okay, change your plan. I need to use the cubicle. So I went to the cubicle, and then luckily he didn't follow me in there. He let me do my own thing. So I went to the cubicle, managed to hide the passport, took it out of the trouser leg, put it inside my boot.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Anyway, went back to this thing, and they keep interrogating me, and I'm like stressing out. Then I remembered that when I arrived in Turkey, this CRF 250 Riders Club, Turkish Riders Club on Facebook, messaged me saying and they invited me to their group. And it turns out the CRF is a really popular bike in Turkey. Everyone rides it.
Oh, right.
And there's a group of thousands of CRF riders in Turkey. And they put me on this group saying, hey, Ben's just arrived in Istanbul. If he needs anything, please help him out. And all these people sent me their numbers.
Oh,
and
mate, you've broken
Facebook
again. Yeah, so we got you've come back now. We got the CRF's got a massive fan base in Turkey, and you had somebody's number or something.
Yeah, so the CRF, everyone rides CRFs in Turkey. There's a Facebook group full of thousands of CRF riders just for Turkey, and I had loads of these numbers saved on my phone. People who've been in touch with me saying, "Hey, listen, if you want anything in Turkey, we'll sort you out." I suddenly remembered, oh my God, I've got all these numbers on my notes. So I went through my phone and just chose the top person, and thought, had his number saved. I thought, oh no, is it gone again?
Yeah.
No,
you come back. The video is terrible, but I can hear your voice.
Luckily, I've actually been recording on my GoPro.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. That's massive. That's magic. Brilliant.
So it's still, hold on, let me just make sure it's still recording. Yep. 1 hour and 54 minutes on my GoPro.
Wow. Oh, you got it plugged into power?
Yeah, it's plugged into power. So I thought I'd have that as a backup.
Mine too, yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. That will be a godsend.
Awesome. Yes.
Sorry, folks. So, we're doing the chat via Zoom, and the Wi-Fi's at one of our ends anyway. The Wi-Fi's not great, so it keeps freezing all the time.
Definitely me. But yeah, so so I went on it when I'm in this room. I'm thinking, well, I need to get out of this. Even though these guys have never met me before, they've messaged me online, so they obviously can verify me and what I'm doing. So I found the top number on my notes, gave this to the army guys interrogating me and said, call this number. They'll tell you what I'm doing, why I'm here, because they were so unsure. Gave him the phone. They call up this guy, and he obviously, I have no idea what was said over the conversation, but as soon as they hung up the phone, the atmosphere changed. And all these hours and hours of being stuck in this room being interrogated, suddenly the atmosphere changed. And they rushed out and said, oh, you want some chai tea? I was like, yes. So they rushed out, brought me some chai. I was like, sweet, got some drink. They said, are you hungry? I said, yes, I'm starving. This is obviously all in broken English. They rushed me in and they took me in. And it turned out where I was, the base I was in, was actually the head of like the Central Army base for all of Eastern Turkey. So it was a big place. And they sat me down in the canteen with all the troops for this region. Gave me a tray, and I had dinner with all these soldiers, and they're all taking selfies with me, and then their superior officer comes in and screams at them and says, no, you can't take selfies. And he made me delete them all. But luckily on iPhones, you can go back to recently deleted and recover them. So I had managed to recover them all, which is great. Yeah, but right. It was crazy. So I went from being interrogated to 1 minute to then being, and I was saying, what was going on? Anyway, eventually I was freed from this place, and they let me loose hours and hours later, and they gave me fruit and loads of supplies to get me on my way. By now it's like the middle of the night, and it's like 2 a.m. or something. And I called up this guy and I said, what just happened? And he said, oh, I'm actually I'm the Special Forces SWAT commander for the Special Forces unit for Eastern Turkey. I was like, so he was basically their boss. He was like their superior officer. And he was like one of the top dogs for that whole region for the military. And he happens to have the same bike I've got. He's got a CRF. He also owns a BMW F800 as well, and he's got loads of bikes. But what are the chances the one person I called happened to be him? And he said, listen, mate, I'm sorry for what you've been through, and obviously the reason why they gave you all the food and whatever was because they felt guilty that they'd arrested like one of their boss's friends, even though we'd never met before. They didn't know that. And so he said, listen, come. He said, if you drive through the night, you should be with us, by the morning. So I head off through the night, like 4 or 5 hours of driving through the night. It was terrifying. I always try to avoid riding at night. And got to him where he was based in his army headquarters, and I stayed in the officer's hotel, which is amazing. He picked me up the next morning. Well, his chauffeur picked me up the next morning, and we had breakfast with him and his family, and it was in a special. It was amazing. So it went from like being a massive, like terrifying moment to being, and all because of a Facebook group for CRF riders. I mean,
do you know what it was,
insane.
Ben? They'd heard that you were a key worker. That's what it was.
Literally, that's it. That's
How brilliant, though. But I mean, like you said, what are the chances that the person that you chose randomly to call would be this geezer? This is what I was saying to you about, like, somehow, for some reason, life sometimes just works out, doesn't it? The stars align sometimes. I don't know what goes 100%. On there, but sometimes it does.
And there was so many moments like this on the trip where things just fell into place. As I'm sure you can. Yeah. And it all just works out, and you think this is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. Right, Mike Phillipson. Great choice of bike for your trip.
If we start, I'm going to go for a quick leak again now I've broken the seal.
Yeah, no worries. I might have a tiddle too. Right, 2 ticks.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Right, back in the room. Mate, I am so chuffed that you're recording it at your end as well, because I was thinking, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare with all the, the breaks and stuff. I was like, oh, how am I going to do this?
Let me make sure that it's got battery left. Hold on, let's double check. How's it looking? Oh, that's amazing. Oh, brilliant. 2 hours, 60. Oh, brilliant. Yes. So it's really strange. It's the new. Oh no, it's not the new way. It used to be new. It's the GoPro 8, maybe.
Oh, the Hero 8. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the newest one?
I just got it. I just picked up the 9.
You lucky. Oh, yeah. Is it good?
Mate, it's brilliant. I was having loads of issues. Sorry to go off point here, people, but I was having loads of I use the 7s. That's the ones I normally use, and you have to use the audio adapter, to plug in the mic in your helmet.
That big beastly thing.
Yeah, and I was just getting... It's weird, I've always used it, and I've never had any issues, but then this year, I started to get loads of crackling and like interference, and sometimes the audio would work, sometimes it wouldn't. I was like, this is terrible, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, so I've bought the new Hero 9, and then I bought the mod, the media mod.
The media mod, yeah.
And that's got... there it is there. That has a 3.5mm jack there, input. So I can plug the mic straight in without using the big adapter. And touch wood, I've been out filming, doing some stuff on the new Eno Chica, and it's brilliant. It's really, really good. Yeah, loving it. I want to get, the Max Lens mod that you can get with it. And it's got horizon leveling and stuff. Oh yeah, that's what I'm after.
I'm so annoyed. I got the iPhone, the GoPro 8 last year.
Yeah.
And didn't open it. It was in its box all year until September, the Overland event. I unboxed it to mount it to the helmet just to ride to the Overland event in Oxford, which is only like an hour's journey for me.
Yeah.
And then so I'm using it now, and I've got with the media mod and all that. And then literally we come back from the Overland event, and then they release the new one. I'm like, no, I could have. But this is good. But it's weird. It doesn't show. I was worried it wasn't charging, because it doesn't show it's charging. It hasn't got the little lightning bolt. But luckily, it is charging. But it's.
Oh, you've broke again. You've frozen.
Oh. Hello.
All right, you're back. Hey.
Yes.
Right, let's crack on, because we are 2 hours in here.
Oh, yeah.
So we've nearly finished the Patreon
really?
questions. Yeah.
No way. Okay,
yes,
I'll just give one word answers. Yes or no.
Yeah,
Go.
Good luck. Right, Mike Phillipson. Great choice of bike for your trip, Ben. Much more sensible than Bruce's. What made you decide to choose the CRF 250?
Quick answer. It was basically Austin Vince.
Yep. Yeah.
That was literally, it was, I went to one of his talks before my trip just to get a bit of insight into travelling overland. And he was a big advocate for the CRF. I was torn. Funny enough, actually, I was at this event and I was chatting to Nathan Millwood. And I was saying, and I saw him and I said, I'm torn between the Tiger 800, the BMW F800, and the Triumph Bonneville, which is the bike I've now got. And I kept, and then I saw him a few weeks later at another event, and he said, "Have you chosen your bike yet?" I said, "No, I still can't decide." And Nathan said, "Right, you've got 5 seconds to choose a bike." He counted me down, and then I panicked and went for the Tiger 800. And then that evening, I met Austin for the first time or something, and then Austin was an advocate for the CRF, and he heard about my trip and said, "Listen, come." He heard that I live quite close to him. Austin literally lives like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Oh, does he?
In Hertfordshire. He lives in Uxbridge and I'm near Rickmansworth.
Yeah.
And he said, "Listen, come down, try my CRF and see how you find it." Because by this point, I'd literally put a deposit down on a Triumph Tiger 800. I'd already paid the deposit and everything. And I was about to pick it up like the following day. And so I went to Austin's, and he's got a CRF, and Lois, his wife, has got a CRF. And he said, "Listen, I can't let you out on my wife's bike until I know that you're a capable rider." So he put out some cones in his little yard, and he said, "I want you to ride." It was like a driving test. He said, "I want you to ride around these so that I can see you're capable before I let you loose." And so. I literally was being assessed by Austin Vince to see, how good my riding was. I was terrified. I was so scared. I was like, "Don't put a foot down." So did it. Went for a ride around the canals and whatnot, and loved it. And that basically I went for it because of him. So that's why I went for the CRF, was basically because of Austin Vince. Yeah.
He's a great guy, Austin, isn't he? He's a character. You're very similar. Similar to Austin.
Funny story. I know. We'll be quick, but he actually. I think he wanted me to go around the world in his overalls, and then I literally would have been a mini Austin Vince. But sadly, they weren't waterproof, and I needed some like Gore-Tex waterproof stuff for my trip, so I didn't in the end. But he was very upset, and I feel. And Austin, if you watch this, I'm sorry, but he is an amazing guy, and he was so helpful. He was awesome.
He's a great guy. And Lewis as well. I mean, you've got sort of the creme de la creme of overland travel between him and his wife. Right.
Exactly.
Next one, Scott Dobie. When you're able, top 5 places yet to see or go back to.
Oh.
Did you get that?
Okay. Yep, I got that. That's perfect. Okay, right. So when we're able to top 5 places to go back to or see again. Well, yeah, 100% South America as a continent. I can't wait to get back there. That was absolutely amazing. To be fair, that's yeah. And as Japan, I've never been there, but I've always wanted to go to Japan. That's really up there. And I'm just excited to see my bike again. I miss my little Honda. It's just the greatest.
I bet you are, man.
And and Pakistan as a country is just incredible. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to my Honda. I really want to get to Japan. I'm so excited for that. And South America as a continent. So yeah, Peru, Colombia, Brazil, those 3 in particular, I can't wait to get back to. Because when I did it before, it was on a little local 125 bike. Yeah. But this time on a 250, on my bike, it's going to be awesome. What about you? What about you, Bruce?
I think I would like to. There's still so many places I would like to see. Like I really want to see Nepal. I want to see India, Pakistan. I'd love to do the stands. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kurdistan. I'd love to do all them. And I think that with 5 countries, it would be the stands all the way to Nepal. And places like Mongolia, I really wanted to see Mongolia, but I couldn't. On my trip, I snapped the frame for like the 4th time crossing Russia, and it was literally a day from the border with Mongolia. I was just outside Ulaanbaatar, and I was, a day's ride outside of Ulaanbaatar, you turn right and head south down to Mongolia, and I just left Ulaanbaatar and I snapped the frame, and I was just like, maybe it's not a good idea to take a sports bike somewhere where there's no roads when it's got a broken back. So I was like, I'm going to have to make the decision to keep going here. So,
I've got one for you. Okay,
go on.
So you want to do this? You want to do the stans and Mongolia when the world's back to normal? What would be your choice of bike? What bike would you take?
Do you know
if I give you 10 seconds to give it a bike? Is that enough time to choose a bike in 10 seconds? Okay.
On a spot like that, S1000RR. S1000RR. BMW S1000RR.
Seriously, that's the bike you would take?
Yeah.
To the stands?
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're epic.
Roxy, do you know Roxy, Round the World Roxy?
I actually met her.
Yeah, you met her. You met her at
the Overland event. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's done it on the Fireblade, on an old Fireblade, a 1999 Fireblade. And... she's got the same attitude that I have, that it can be done, so let's go for it. And I like the fact you get that reaction off of people going, on what? But I quite like that.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's funny, because actually any bike can do it.
Absolutely.
We've just been ingrained. We've been ingrained to think that you can't do it on any bike. It has to be an adventure bike.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're true.
And I'm not an overland expert. No, not an overland. I'm not an off-road expert. So even if I did it on a CRF 250, I still wouldn't be careering down the tracks because I don't know how to ride off-road. So whether I do it on an off-road bike or I do it on a sports bike, I'm still going to be riding like a newborn baby deer. I'm going to be sort of tentatively working my way down there. So what difference does it make? So. And I was always told, Jacques Lucassen said to me, take whatever bike makes you smile. And by God, the S1000RR makes me smile. So.
Is he the guy who's got is it the R1 he's building for the Arctic?
For the North Pole, yeah. Him and Nick Sanders are the 2 sort of originals to do it on sports bikes. They did it on Fireblades, they've done it on R1s, individually. Yeah, both amazing characters. I'd love to get Nick on here, actually. And Jacques.
Yeah. Did you speak to them before your trip? Or did you find out about them afterwards?
I spoke with Jacques quite a bit. I saw him at a Horizons Unlimited event and got quite drunk with Jacques. And Nick, I never really got a chance to chat with him. I went to see him a few times at like the NEC events and stuff, but never really got a chance to chat with him one-on-one. But with Jacques I did. And Jacques basically just went, look, take whatever bike makes you smile, because that's all you're going to have. So just take the bike that you like. And it was like, well, I'll take my Gixxer. That was it. But anyway, enough about me. Right, Angad Singh, to both. One place where you could live forever without being able to travel out. Well, we did that earlier, didn't we?
Yep.
You basically said
Boom.
Colombia, South America. And
Colombia, Brazil.
I'd be Norway or Japan. Oh, you've frozen again. Oh, you're back. You're back in a room.
I can hear you. All good.
Cool. Right. Next one, John Broadhurst. It's the Bin Boys. Good afternoon, gents. Question for both. Which country were you worried about most? I mean, proper arse pulsating twitch, but then blown away by the kindness of the people.
It's like the question's been made with the answer in mind. he obviously knows the answer will be Iran. I mean, that's just like literally it. I remember getting from Azerbaijan, before I got to the border, being terrified. It was the only border crossing I was scared to do. And I remember getting to the border, being so scared. And the funny thing with getting to Iran was I had only until midnight that night to enter Iran. Otherwise, the visa expired and I had to start all over again. I had to fly back to England, get a new visa, blah, blah, blah. So I had to get there by midnight. I arrived at the border of Azerbaijan to leave Azerbaijan. Got there, and the border it was like 10 p.m. The border was closed. And I was like, no, this can't be happening. If I don't get into Iran by midnight in 2 hours, I'm screwed. And they said, I'm sorry, we can't let you in. So I always carry a packet of cigarettes with me everywhere I go. And I was handing out cigarettes to all the border guards. I was chatting with them. Blah, blah, blah. After like 10, 50 minutes, they said, okay, we'll make a call. So they called the border boss. And he came from his house. He was in bed. He came from his home, opened the border for me, the international border. He opened it up for me, processed my visa, passport, whatever, and let me go through. And I was like, this is amazing. I get to Iran. It's deserted. You cross this little bridge, and you sort of it's a very surreal feeling. I'm going from Azerbaijan to Iran. This is insane. There's like a little pontoon bridge from that Second World War.
Yeah.
I get to Iran, and I can see the uniforms a different colour to where I've just been. And I'm thinking, I'm heading there. This is amazing. And I get there, and they were so friendly. As soon as I got into Iran, I was like, they made you feel so welcome. They said, "Oh, have you got any, because I was really worried about a drone." And they opened up the pannier and said, "Have you got a drone or anything?" I said, No. And they literally just opened up the lid, didn't even look inside, just looked to the top level. So if anyone's going to Iran, this is what they do. They looked to the top. They looked to the top level of stuff, and it had like all like my little Krieger pouches. Each one's labelled, and it says like closed, miscellaneous hard drives, ever. They looked at it. They thought, cool, close the lid. That was it. That was the check. Literally. That would have been, imagine, that would have been brilliant. So yeah, they just let me go through. And I went through, and the guy who processes the carnet, he'd left already for the day. He'd gone to sleep. So they called him up and said, "Don't worry, we'll sort you out." They called him up. He came from his bed as well, like the guy from Azerbaijan came from his bed to process my carnet, to let me through. It was amazing. And even funnier was oh no, you're frozen. Can you hear me?
I can see you.
Yeah. Even funnier, I can admit this. Now that I've left Iran, I can finally admit this. But to go to Iran as a British passport holder, you can't go. They won't let you in unless you pay like £3,000-4,000 for a guide who takes you through the country in like 3 days. Awful. But with an Irish passport, because my mum's from Belfast, from Northern Ireland, even though it's Northern Ireland, I was able to apply for a Southern Irish passport, which makes no sense, but I'm not complaining. So I was able to get there, and I arrived, and they said, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from London." and this is at the Iran border.
Oh,
and they said, but your passport's Irish.
I can hear you.
Oh my gosh, you idiot. All the effort you've gone through to get an Irish passport, and as soon as you've arrived, you've forgotten your story and said you're from England. You idiot. So
no.
They were like, but it says your passport's from Ireland. And I said, oh crap. Sorry, I'm half asleep, because I literally was half asleep. I was like, yeah, you're right. Well, I've come from London, but I was born in Belfast. And they said, Belfast? Isn't that Northern Ireland? I'm thinking, how do these guards know these things? They're incredible. They're so smart. And I said, you know what? Sorry, my mistake. I was born in Dublin, Southern Ireland, but I moved to Belfast when I was a child. Yes. And that's that, so I tell people I'm from Belfast, but really I'm from Dublin. They're like, oh, okay, but your bike is from London. I said, yeah. So I was born in Dublin, but I moved to Belfast when I was a child. Then I came to London to get the bike because it was cheaper, and then I left. And the story sounds so made up, but they're like, okay. And they stamped it.
Yeah,
they don't care. They just let me through. It was great. It was awesome. So I almost blew it, but luckily I made it into Iran. So yeah, fantastic. And the people were amazing. Amazing.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, man. I would love to go. And you were saying earlier about Syria. I would love, I know not now, but it's such a shame, because I was told before all the trouble started, Syria was one of the most beautiful places out there, and the people were so nice, so friendly. It was on my list of places to go, but obviously now it's just nothing there anymore.
Yeah.
I think for me, Russia was the biggest surprise for me. I was expecting it to be like very cold, very hostile, not to be liked there, and it was literally just going to be a transient part for me, just get across it. And the Russians were so friendly and welcoming and nice, and yeah, I loved it. I genuinely loved my time in Russia.
How was the border crossing into Russia? Was it a tough one?
No problem at all. I came from Ukraine into Russia. They were really helpful. I remember the police guy actually came out his box and he helped me fill in the form, told me what to fill in, and he spoke English. He was fine. No problems at all. Absolutely none. No drama. And I remember I got into Russia and it was coming in towards evening, so I rode for another couple of hours, and then I camped wild, just in the woods basically that night, and realised that's the worst thing to do in Russia, is to camp in long grass in woods, because I got destroyed by the mosquitoes. Destroyed by them. The mozzies in Russia are like an inch long. They're huge. Honestly. Like I would put my tent up in full kit, helmet on, leathers, gloves. I put the tent, everything up in 40-degree heat.
Did you have one of those head nets you can put on? That's like
with the SAS, with the Special Forces hat. Yeah, I had all that. Oh yeah. Right, last patron question, last one. Roger White. Today we live in a different world, a restriction on travel and adventure. But is it? Give me the 3 top roads that you've travelled on in the UK, which you would love to ride again. Oh, that's a good one, Roger. 3 best roads in the UK for riding.
See, I'm the worst person to ask, because only until last year, when I got the Himalayan, that I actually explored my own country for the first time. And when I did Cornwall, Devon, people kept telling me route, because the plan was Land's End to John O'Groats. Mm-hmm. But because I destroyed the Himalayan mid trip, I didn't quite manage to complete my trip. So that's another trip. It seems to be a recurring theme with trips I have to finish. So I've still got to finish the Land's End to John O'Groats. But people kept telling me all these routes to do. They said, the NC 500, is it, in Scotland? Apparently I want to do that. A place called Apple Cross. That's it.
Yeah, do the driver's path up there.
All these places I had to go and see, but I have to admit, the one place for riding, I don't know what it's called, but it's in the Lake District. The Lake District is just, all my life
beautiful.
I've never been there until recently. It's amazing. And there's this place, the Devil's Bridge, outside of Kirkby Lonsdale, where all the bikers meet up every weekend, and the passes from there are just spectacular. That's why I want to take my Triumph there, but obviously I can't with lockdown. But
hit the road
back to the lakes.
As soon as it's all clear, yeah, hit the road.
What about you, Bruce? You need to give me some tips for when the world reopens again.
3. I mean, the North Coast 500 is a must-do. If you're a biker, you've got to do the North Coast 500. But that's a collection of loads of different roads, individual roads. There's a place called Elandonnan Castle in Scotland. Have you ever seen it? Famous castle. It's where, you know the film Highlander?
Wait, yeah, is it the castle that's in the water?
Yeah,
it's got a little
bridge that goes over to it. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's called Elandonnan Castle. Now, there's a road, you follow that main road there, there's a road that runs west to east. There's a turning off of that. I think it's a little bit, can't remember if it's east or west of Elandonnan, but there's a road that heads north off of that. And that road basically takes you north, eventually all the way up the west coast up to the top. That is a stunning bit of the road. That's a bit of the North Coast 500. That's good.
Oh right.
God, there's so many in Wales. I did that little big adventure with a couple of other YouTubers, with Richie Vida and Mr. Fish. We did them on 125cc's recently, and Roger and his boy and a couple of other lads came and met us on day 3 and showed us some beautiful roads in Wales. So Wales has got loads of cracking roads. God, there's so many. There really are so many in the UK. Scotland is full of cracking biking roads, but I'd say that. Lake District, Peak District. Honestly, there's so many. I can't limit it to 3, to my top 3. I'd say areas for me: Scotland, lakes, and Wales. That's my 3 top biking places in the UK.
So have you got a little like a biking crew that you head off then with on little rides?
Well, I mean, I've got all my normal mates that whenever I can I'll get out riding with, and then on YouTube, I mean, social media just opens everything up, doesn't it? So I like to meet up with people that get in touch and go, oh, you know, you need to come and ride this road and that road, and that's my aim eventually once the country opens up, is to be able to just travel around the UK and Ireland and just, you know, meet people through social media and go and ride their roads with them. That's what I want to do with Teapot, basically. So, yeah.
But yeah, only because this is going to sound so sad and desperate. Basically, none of my mates are into bikes. No one rides bikes.
Seriously?
Honestly, no one. I mean, biking doesn't seem to be a thing anymore with younger people.
Has your camera just beeped? I thought I just heard a GoPro beep.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's still recording.
Awesome.
It's still good.
So is it not? Yeah, a lot of them not riding?
Well, maybe it's just from this area. I don't know, but no one's into biking. No one loves riding. It's rubbish. So, but this is basically this is a very desperate appeal to anyone watching this. So I live in. Should I say where? Okay, I live close to Watford, which is like north west London. I live sort of close to Watford, Rickmansworth, that region, in Hertfordshire. So if anyone's local to there and wants to go for a ride, please let me know, because I want to go for a ride. It'd be so nice to have a nice group of people to ride with, because no one in my area rides bikes. No one.
Well, you're going to be inundated now. There'll be loads of people that do it. I'm only in Kent, mate. I used to live in Watford. Me and my wife.
Wait, you're joking?
No.
In Watford?
Yeah. I used to live Garfield Road in Watford. My wife had a flat there. So
no way.
Yeah. And now I'm only in Kent.
We need to live around there. That's so funny. Yeah. That's amazing.
We'll meet up and we'll go for a ride. But I'm sure there'll be loads of people out there that will do it. Right, come on, let's crack on with the Instagram. That's all the Patreon one's done. We've got to try and we've been going 2.5 hours, so we need to wrap up, but we'll do a couple of the Instagram questions. So TeapotOne Insta, at TeapotOne Insta. First one, from Mr. Fish, from official Mr. Fish. What keeps you so positive And where the fuck have you been? So what keeps you with that really positive attitude that you have?
Good question. Well, I mean, I think
sugar.
So people always ask me this. I think after my crash, it sounds really cliche, but after my crash, and when the police said it could have been a lot, we were all lucky to be alive. It really makes you put things into perspective, and you appreciate things so much more. So ever since then, I've always really appreciated every single moment because it's like a second chance. And also, when I was on my trip, whenever things got difficult, I always remember that I'm literally this is what I've worked so hard for. Because loads of people thought that I'd been given the money or the whatever for my trip. That was not the case. I literally had to work for everything myself. And I was working 2-3 jobs to save up just to do the trip, working 20 hours a day with no sleep. So because I'd worked so hard for it, when I got on the road, you appreciate it so much more. So whenever things got tough, I'd always remember, okay, no, I've worked hard for this. And that's what kept me going. See that was it. I think it was because I'd worked so hard for it. That's why I appreciate it so much more. So I always try to keep positive. And I think if you're positive, it rubs off on other people. So then they'll then be friendly to you because they feel it, your energy. And honestly, it has worked because every single person I met on my trip, every country was amazing. Never met a single bad person ever over all those years. So clearly, it works.
Absolutely,
but I get it all the time.
Yeah. There's I've covered this in the podcast before, and I've forgotten the name of it. There's a term. It's called in conflict resolution. We get taught about it when I was in the old bill, we used to get taught about it. Is it Polaris's box or something? So it's basically your attitude affects my attitude, which affects your attitude, which affects my attitude. It's a cyclical thing, isn't it? So what you're saying there about approaching everything with a positive attitude, it does rub off on people. It absolutely does rub. Obviously, there may be times when that will get tested, but it's worked for you so far. The issues you had in Iran and all these places, it's worked out, hasn't it? Oh, you've frozen. Oh, right.
Yes. All good. Yes.
Right. Next question. The Mad Leprechaun. How do you plan your route?
Well, we've kind of covered this already. I basically plan it
depending on
people who message me online. I don't plan it. I ended up working. I was working at Waitrose and I was working for Apple, right up until the point when I left England in 2017.
Are you an Apple genius?
Well, I mean, stop it. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I'm a key worker.
A key worker. Wow.
And I know, I'm a catch. Honestly, if they're oh my god, wait, Bruce, hold on a sec. This is an appeal. So, if there's any female bikers out there who
this isn't Tinder,
who want to be with a genius and a key worker,
a hero,
what
effectively, a hero,
basically a hero,
then with his own bike and a really cool jacket.
So yeah, done. That's it. That's my appeal. Done. That's it. Done. Anyway, back to the serious stuff. What was I saying?
I can't even remember what the question was.
Something about that was it. Yeah, I was working right up until the end, and my plan was to plan a route before I left. Because I worked until the end, I didn't have time. So I thought, right, when I get on the ferry from Dover to Calais, I'll sit on the ferry and I'll plan my route out. But I got on the ferry at Dover, and I just passed out. I just got on the ferry, had a beer, passed out. Woke up a few hours later, was in Calais. I was like, crap, I've got to leave. I haven't planned my route.
Where do I go?
So I literally just headed south-ish, and basically from there, I basically planned my route depending on where I got messages. So I got a call from someone saying, come to Northern Italy. I was like, sweet, I will. Then headed south to Italy. I then got a call saying, come to Switzerland. I was like, well, that's the wrong direction. I'm in southern Italy. So I turned around, went back up to Switzerland, stayed with a guy there. He says, where are you going next? I said, I'm going to east towards Istanbul. He says, no, you've got to meet my friend Billy in the Nürburgring in Germany. And I was like, the Nürburgring, I've never heard of it, but I pretended I'd heard of it because I was trying to be cool.
You'd never heard of the Nürburgring?
I'd never heard of it, no. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll go there. So instead of heading east, I headed north. Yeah. Ended up at the Nürburgring and met Billy and his family and had the most incredible time. I ended up spending like a month and a half there at the Nürburgring, getting laps in these supercars with him, because obviously he has friends all around the ring, and I was getting laps in these amazing cars. It was just incredible. I loved it. Wow. And then I got a message online from someone in Amsterdam, completely the wrong direction, even further north, saying, hey, come and stay with us. We've seen your TV interview. We'd love to service your bike. I was like, cool. So I headed north, went to Amsterdam, got the bike service, and it got worse and worse. I was heading completely the wrong direction. And eventually I headed east but it took me quite a long time. And it was great. I loved it.
What would you have done if you got a message off somebody saying, come and stay, come and meet me, and they were from Watford? Would you have gone back? Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
I mean, it depends.
It depends.
If they'd been like if they'd been like a really cute, like a cute biker chick, then I'd be like,
all received.
I'll see you in 5 minutes. But I'm flexible. I'll go wherever.
Oh, there's so much I could say. Right, next one. Well, we kind of covered this. Mr. Jonathan Powell.
Oh my gosh.
Is he riding?
Yeah, that was a bad thing to say.
I'll be using that.
Okay, I take that back. I'm not flexible. Anyway, move on.
Are you riding the Honda or the Royal Enfield more nowadays? Well, the Honda's still in Pakistan, and the Enfield you broke, didn't you?
Yeah, Honda's Pakistan, Enfield's broken. I still love the Himalayan, but now my bike is now the Triumph Bonneville.
There you go. Yes. Gosh. Right, next one. Ehsan Barry Q. Oh yeah, apologies my pronunciation here. Ehsan Barry. Question. Tell his experience of being Iran, and did he finally get the dance courses? I'll see what the actual name is. Oh, Ehsan Barry.
I feel like I met this guy.
I think you have. I think you have met him.
It's so hard because you know it's like you meet like 1,000 people every day.
Yeah, mate. I know. Yeah.
But I mean, Iran was just Iran was.
What's the dance courses all about? Dance lessons.
I don't know what. Did I get drunk once maybe?
No way, not you.
And dance awfully.
It's all that sugar.
I did. Although saying that at the Overland event, oh gosh, I don't think I can ever go back to one of those events. I've not drank that much. I've not drank that much in years.
And it's all proper ale as well, isn't it?
It was incredible. And the next day, those sidecar guys, they're bad guys. They decided to get me on their interview, like a 2-minute interview the next day on the final night, after the final night. I don't remember. I have no clue what I said in the interview because that was just. And then I ended up having a nice chat with Steph Jevons and I was just completely like it was awful, but it was amazing. But
Steph's lovely and she's nice.
Oh, she is my favourite person. She's awesome. The sidecar guys, Steph Jevons, Elspeth, all those guys who were there, they were just all amazing. Oh.
I love the Overland event. It's just such a friendly place. I really enjoy. I was gutted I couldn't make this one.
Yeah. It is my favourite thing.
Hopefully there'll be another one in February. I think they're doing the winter warmer.
Yeah, I'm booked into that one actually. Will you be going as well?
I don't know if I haven't been asked to present or anything. I sort of had to pull out of the August or September Overland at short notice. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm being asked back as a presenter, but if I can, I'll be there as a punter.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going as a regular person, not as a big celebrity like you, Bruce. You big star.
I'm yesterday's news. You're the future. God help us.
Stop it.
Right, second last one.
Oh wait, before we go, I'm about to explode. Give me a second, I'll be going for a leak. My seal is gone.
It's your third one.
I know, honestly,
these youngsters. These alcohol-free
Oh, they're awful.
I noticed it slowed you down. Yeah.
Oh, better. Beautiful. Honestly, once you break the seal,
can concentrate.
Oh my gosh. I think that's it. I won't open any more. No more beers. That's it. I'm done.
Well, we're nearly at 3 hours here. We'll do the last two questions on Instagram.
Oh, no, that's so sad.
A lot of them we've covered already.
Yeah.
Well, let me have a little look, actually. Oh, no. I'm lying. There's shed loads more on Instagram. I hadn't hit the plus button. All right, we'll do a couple more questions.
Okay, I'll be quick. I'll be really quick.
Right, Roy.Gunner, he says, hope Ben's okay, and is the trip going to continue after COVID? Well, we've covered that. Yes, it's happening.
Yeah,
Noddy 1959.
Good to hear from you, Roy.
Noddy 1959. Question from Australia. Started following King on the Road with great interest. YouTube, etc. then seemed to drop off the radar. Was this a conscious move, or have you just haven't got round to any updates? Cheers from Australia, Alan. Well, again, I think we covered that, didn't we?
Yep, covered it. I'm awful. I'm too busy being a key worker, feeding the nation. I'll get around to it.
Thank God you're there, though, Ben. Thank God you're there.
Stop it.
Eamon Fleming. Great to hear you're still going, and he loved your videos. Here's a question for you. How has the Honda been holding up? You haven't had any issues with it, have you?
So I was amazing. That sounds bad. I was so lucky the bike was amazing. That was a merge. The whole, from London to literally the whole journey, no issues with the bike. And then when I was in the Loop Desert, like third hottest desert in the world, apparently, I guess like 55, I guess it's 70 degrees. It was 55 when I was there.
Wow.
Crazy hot.
Gets to 70 Celsius. Degrees.
Yeah, apparently it has in the past been to 70 degrees, which is just...
Oh my God.
It was about 55 when I was there.
Wow.
Celsius. But after like 30, 40 degrees, everything just feels the same. It's just normal. It was so hot that it melted the seal around the fuel tank by the fuel pump at the bottom. And I hadn't stuck with the original tank, which is only 7 litres. I put on an aftermarket IMS tank that was like 14 litres or so, which basically doubles the capacity. And it couldn't handle it. But funny enough, I'd actually got this happened first in Albania when I was crossing from Albania to Greece, and the seal. I was riding loud down this little road, and this guy pulls up next to me on his bike, and he's like pointing at me like, "Shh," and I'm like, "What are you doing? Are you like dancing, or is this sign language?" I had no idea what he was saying, and then I finally figured out that he was pointing at my thing was spewing out fuel. So I pulled over. Took it apart and we managed to reseal it. Oh no, this is cool. So I pulled over at a farmhouse and I was like, right, I need to get it sorted. And as I looked at the farmhouse and there was a British license plate, like Volkswagen, parked outside this farmhouse in Albania. I'm thinking, this is a bit dodgy. Clearly some people have stolen this car.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get over and I explained to these guys, these mechanics, what's going on. And we took it all apart. And they appear with a packet with a seal in it. And this seal, which is for some car part, it fit my custom IMS tank perfectly. Wow. And we put it on and it fit like a glove. And I was like, what are the chances? And I was filming this all and they were like, no filming. So clearly they were so dodgy. But I don't care because it was great. So they fixed my bike. And we sealed it. That worked. That lasted all the way from Albania through about a year or so till Iran. And then obviously in Iran it was so hot that it just destroyed the seal again. And
just had enough.
Yeah, managed to get that fixed. But apart from that was the only issue I had. And it was really funny. We couldn't get in Iran. We tried to take the bracket out that attaches to the fuel tank, and the bolt was stuck. We couldn't get the fourth bolt out. Other three were fine. And then this guy appears in this little town in Iran, close to the Pakistan border. He appears with an angle grinder, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll angle grind it off." And I'm like, what? Like with the sparks, but with the fuel tank?
With
Are
the
you
fuel,
crazy?
yeah.
And he's like, no, it's no problem. He said, if I get it off, then great. If I don't get it off and it explodes, then your trip is over. I was like, okay, thanks. Let's go. So he was like, up to you. I was like, go for it. So we went for it, and actually it worked, obviously, because I'm still alive.
You're still here.
And what was crazy is as he was doing it, all these like 20 kids and all the mechanics are all crowding around. I'm the only one who stood far away in case it explodes. No one else seemed to care. I was like, these guys are like incredible. They feel us.
Life, innit?
And there's me behind filming. But anyway, that was it. So that was the only issue. If I hadn't changed the fuel tank, I'd have had no issues at all. So yeah, the bike honestly was amazing. It was awesome.
Brilliant. It's amazing what like modern bikes put up with, isn't it? You know, people are always worried, but you know, like, man, personally, I had no mechanical issue apart from the frame, the subframe. I had no problems with the engine at all, and you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's great. But like you said, if you do have an issue, people help, and that opens up other avenues.
That is the best. When things break, that's when the best stories happen.
Absolutely,
I like things
100%.
breaking.
Yeah, when things break or you get lost, that's you run out of fuel. That's the best times, isn't it? Because the adventure starts.
Exactly.
Right, next one. Russell Tullett. For both of you, what's the piece of info or advice you'd like to hear or know before you left on your trip? So one bit of advice you wish you'd been given before you went on your trip.
You know what? Actually, I don't think, because I basically didn't do what anyone said, which was plan it and whatever. I didn't do any of that. I just went, and actually that was probably the best thing. So actually what I would say would be the reverse. I would say, don't listen to anyone when they give you advice, and just do your own thing. Because I remember before I left, I had people saying I was leaving. I had a tank bag on the tank, and I had a backpack, this Krieger one that's I've still got, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I had it on my back. And actually, I'm pretty sure you used to ride with the backpack as well. So I
still do every day.
Yeah, and everyone and people used to say, people would say to us, I'll do the same there, Bruce, just so, you know.
Bit of branding. Not
branding,
sponsored by Krieger in the slightest. 150 quid, I think that was.
Bargain. And I think my mum was like 100 or so. Yeah, I'm not as rich as Bruce. Crikey, I can't afford his one. And because YouTube is.
Oh, and I've got Ferrari outside and everything, yeah.
Literally, have you seen his Lamborghini? It's incredible. Oh, my word. So before I left, everyone was saying, oh, my word, you're an idiot. Why would you ride with the backpack on? Your back's going to be destroyed. Trust me, you'll get rid of that so quick.
You're frozen
Same thing
again.
with the tank bag. Oh, that tank bag will get in the way. Useless. And all these, and these are, some people said this who travelled before. Others hadn't travelled at all. So, you know, you get a mix. And honestly, for me, it was great. So what I realised is actually don't listen to anyone. People who travelled before, people who haven't travelled before, do what works for you.
That's great advice.
What about you?
That is great advice. Yeah, definitely. Like, I think it depends what type of person you are, though, isn't it? Because I think you have to be a certain type of person in order to set off and do a trip like this, to actually do it around the world trip. You have to be a certain type of person. But within that, there are all sorts of people. There's people that like to plan everything, like to know, you know, every stage of the journey. And then there's a polar opposite, people like yourself, who just literally go where the wind takes you. And, you know, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Is that just, what do you want from your trip? That's what you need to figure out. Is, you know, do you want to cover a set distance in a set time to say, I've been around the world? Or do you actually want to meet the people? Do you want to enjoy the countries? Do you want to get everything you can out of it? Just depends what you want.
That is exactly it. I'll make this quick, but basically, when I set off, I remember everyone was saying, that's those words. I'll make this quick. That is literally just that never happens, does it? I love how you're just laughing because you know that it's not going to happen. Anyway,
this is the last question, by the way, because we're nearly at the 3-hour mark.
Oh, sweet, so sweet. And I remember when I set off, obviously, someone, as I was planning the trip, because basically I did the trip. When I came back to England from South America, one of my close friends passed away. Her name is India, and and she was super young, only 21, 22, and she had ulcerative colitis. So I wanted to do the trip in memory of her by riding from London to India to raise money and awareness for this charity. And that was the whole goal of the trip. And then as I sort of started planning it, someone said, "Oh, why don't you try and get this record?" And I didn't know there was a record to try and become the youngest person, blah, 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 to go around the world solo. And yeah, I honestly, I don't have a clue why I said this. I'm sure there's a reason, but anyway, yeah, that was the plan. And I could have easily have raced. Oh, I think I remember it. So obviously I had like 4 years to do it, which is plenty of time. Most people do it in like a year. And I quickly realized, actually, that was it. I got disqualified from the Guinness World Record attempt because I spent too long in one place. You can't spend more than 2 weeks in one place. You've got to be constantly moving. Oh, wow. And I spent like more than 2 weeks in pretty much every place I went. Yeah. And I remember getting messages on the internet before I left from people saying, "Don't, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Don't waste it. Don't race around the world just to get your name in the book." Yeah. And I was thinking, what do you mean? Like, and then when I got on the road, I quickly realized what they meant. Because, some people, for them, that is the goal, is to get that record, which will then be beaten by someone else in a month's time. But and it's so hard not getting caught up in that moment. And I remember when I got to the Pakistan-Iran border, I met an Italian guy. He was like 50, 60 years old on a BMW GS. His whole dream since he was a kid had been to ride around the world. And when I met him, I'd been on the road for about a year and a half, about 18 months. When I met him, he'd left, I think, like a week or two prior. He had taken him like literally a few weeks to get from Italy, from Milan, where he was from, to the Iran Pakistan. And I was like, what the heck? Like in 2 weeks, you've done what I've done in a year and a half. Like, that's insane. But he was happy because for him, that was all he cared about, was doing the world trip. That was his journey. And everyone, as I said, everyone's so different. And it was, so I'm so glad that I took my time and didn't race around the world, for the wrong reasons, and did it slowly and saw it. And so, as you say, it's everyone's got a different goal of what they want to get out of their trip.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad I realized that, not too late, and actually appreciated the trip.
Definitely. I mean, you're living people's dream here, is not only traveling around the world, but you're actually experiencing it, and you're living it, you're making the most out of it. It's awesome to see. And on a selfish note, just get the content up on YouTube, because we want to share it, but I also understand that it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time, and it's a big commitment once you start doing it, isn't it? And I understand, but get the videos up, man. Come on.
Yes.
Right, dude, that's going to have to do us, because I think this will be the longest one yet. We're pretty much almost at 3 hours, almost to a minute now.
Oh my gosh.
But mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, Ben. I've loved it.
It's been awesome. Oh my
I wish
gosh.
we could do it face to face over a beer, and hopefully, the Overland will get that opportunity too. And now you freeze. Oh, now it's frozen again. Are you there?
Oh no, you froze.
You're back.
Yes.
Yay. Dude, before we call it quits, is anyone you want to give a shout out to? Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
Oh, have you got an hour and a half?
We'll have to do a part 2.
Anyway, I mean, firstly, let's make this quick. Famous last words. Basically, everyone who supported me on my trip at the beginning, you were all amazing. But people who messaged me during the trip, and if I didn't reply to you, because there's people I haven't replied to for literally like a year or two, I'm not rude. I'm really sorry. It's been so overwhelming. Trying to work my way through, so I'm really sorry if I haven't replied to you yet, but I promise I will get around to it at one point. But honestly, I do see all your messages, and I really appreciate everything. All the people who helped me out on the trip before, you're amazing. If anyone wants to work with this guy, then send me a message. Shout out to all my family, because hopefully, my family definitely will not sit through this because they get enough of me at home. So if they do watch this, then hey, family. Bikers, get in touch. Let's go for a ride. let's chillax and have fun. But yeah, honestly, Bruce, it's been amazing. Honestly, so
awesome,
I've not talked about my trip in like a year or so. So it's been so nice to talk about it again and just to be back in like the adventure motorcycle world again. Honestly, I'm so glad you got me on. I really appreciate it. It's made me excited, and I promise I'll get these videos out.
Awesome. Yeah, please do, man. It'd be great to see what you actually got up to put some visuals to it. Right, folks, as I said before, down in the video description or in the show notes, if you listen to the podcast, I'll have all the links to Ben's socials there. So make sure you give him a subscribe, a follow, a like, all of the rest of it. If you want to drop him a line, then again, though, probably best bet is just DM him through any of those social media. That's it, down there. Ben, thank you very much for your all the work you're doing and key worker status.
Oh, stop it! No worries, my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Cool, man. You look after yourself, mate. All right, don't work too hard. Keep on smiling. I know you always will. Let's make sure we meet up. And,
awesome, I will do. Man, it's been a pleasure.
We'll either do the beer or go for a ride or whatever. Cool, man. Look after yourself, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this one.
Yes, awesome. You too.
We are still in lockdown here in the UK, but I hope Ben's sort of positive attitude on life, I hope that rubs off a little bit on you, because honestly, keep smiling. The whole world will smile with you. Folks, look after those that you love. Keep on getting out there. Do your thing.
Yes.
But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Dude, I'm sorry to cut it short, but
awesome, man.
I think we'll be pushing it with 3 hours as it is.